Was good, y'all? Was good. We've been counting down this live stream. We finally here. We got Giants football coming soon, man. Too much talk about draft, too much talk about offseason, man. For us to be less than 24 hours away from week one, man, we love to see it. And we're speaking on, obviously, the Vikings. We're taking on the Vikings. We went live yesterday, had a couple videos featuring specifically the Vikings coming out soon. And as you know, we do have a special guest in the building. He's going to have a couple of his people in here. But guess what? If you've been subscribed to the channel, if you're a Giants fan, please make sure to make yourself known in the building, man. We're here to talk about the Giants and the Vikings, but we also here to break bread and honestly just see where we're headed overall. But, of course, it's wartime in less than 24 hours, and that's what we're here for, y'all. So best believe we're going to bring my guy up to the stage, Vocal Vike. We've been connected for a little while. Crazy story on how we linked up, and now we're here with it. So everybody welcome up my guy, Vocal Vike, in the building, man.
What's up? What's up, man? Appreciate you having me on the channel, man, for sure. Like, it's a blessing, man. I'm glad we finally got to make this happen, man. It's perfect timing. For sure.
100%. And listen, man, if you are in the chat, if you're from Vocal Vike's channel, if you're not from Vocal Vike's channel, you've been subscribed to the Jew, man, make sure you drop a sub under Vocal Vike, man. We family at the end of the day. And regardless of what the team does tomorrow, no matter how we feel today, best believe moving forward, man, Vocal Vike is part of the squad. So make sure you sub up to Vocal Vike. And looks like we got a couple people in here that are already from your channel. So dope to see that. But let's cover a couple of the people that's in the building. Omega was here, checking in from work. Shout out to my guy Omega. Speaking on Saquon. Hey, bro. Saquon's gonna stay off the table until later. I'm just letting you know right now. Any Giants slander, keep Saquon to the side. We're talking about the Giants. We're not talking about the Eagles, man. My guy Christian in the building, man. Appreciate you for joining up. All day Ed. All day Ed, man. Oh, listen, it's starting, but we here for it. We here for it. John over here saying Skull Vikes.
Let's
we
go.
Got Skull going on
Mary.
the building. Hey.
Queen Mary, let's go. Yeah, shout out to them, man, for sure.
Shout out to y'all, man. But let's jump straight into it, right? You know the matchup that's coming up tomorrow. From our standpoint, obviously, we talk about the Giants on this channel. Go ahead and just give me a brief little run through of how you feel about, the offseason, free agency, the draft. Obviously, we know we have storylines going into the season, and some things did change a bit. So give us a little brief overview on how you feel about the Vikings overall.
I mean, I feel really good, man. One of the obvious things that was heartbreaking was JJ McCarthy. This offseason has been somewhat of a roller coaster ride for Vikings fans, man, just due to the fact of getting rid of Kirk Cousins. You had a big group of the fan base that really did like Kirk Cousins and wanted to keep him. And so from the moment he walks out the door to the moment leading up to the draft, who are we going to take at quarterback? Are we going to trade up? Are we going to do this, that, and the third? Man, it's been a busy offseason to be a Vikings fan, man. I'm going to tell you that right now, ups and downs. But now that it's over with, despite, JJ McCarthy getting hurt, man, the confidence is still there. I think a lot of Vikings fans are optimistic, which they should be. I know I am. I might not agree with every move that was made by my organization, but at the end of the day, I do believe they're calculated. And I'm going to have faith in them, man. So it's been fun, man. It's been fun, and me and you together, man, as content creators, man, it's a grind, bro. It's a grind, man. And it feels good when you're 24 hours away. You know what I mean? For all the work you put in, we get to finally see all the stuff we were talking about and hoping happens and stuff like that. Because we use these channels pretty much just to vent to our peoples, man, on how we feel, So now we get to see it come to fruition tomorrow, man. Let's go.
I agree 100%. I think you said it best. When I think about, why we kind of run these channels, of course, the teams had a lot of up and downs, might be a lot more downs than ups for sure. But when we think about, where we are with our content and where we are with this platform, it's really just given us a space to continue to talk about this team on a daily basis. One of the reasons why I became, obviously a content creator talking about the Giants is simply because I talk about them all day. Why not just bring it to the YouTube, bring it to the masses, and really just get another community behind me, behind the Giants, and talk about it, man. We do have a couple more people in the building. Shout out to Mary. The Vikings are in New Jersey. T-Pay the Giant. TP Way. My fault. TP Way the Giant.
TP.
Hey, I saw that you went live with him the other day.
Yeah, man. That's my boy, man. Shout out TP, man. He a real one, for sure.
He was live earlier. I hopped
Yeah,
in his
yeah.
live too.
Yeah, he
Shout
a
out to
real one in
CPWay.
man, for sure, man. He definitely that guy. You know, me
Once
and him
again,
actually gonna tap in after the game too. So
100%. Hey, make sure you sub up to CP Way, the
yeah,
Giant, and Merryface saying hi. So I agree with you 100%. You know, when I look at what the matchup is tomorrow, right?
yeah.
I really feel like we're in very similar predicaments. Very
Mm-hmm,
similar predicaments, right? And
mm-hmm,
I say a predicament because when you think about the quarterback position, that's the most important one.
mm-hmm.
And we both kind of got question marks at the moment. As much as we drafted you guys were drafting JJ McCarthy, the
Yeah.
Giants were looking to draft a quarterback too. It was
Mm-hmm.
spoken on. I even tapped in with you before the draft. I let you know, like, I don't want JJ McCarthy. I
Right,
did not want to go through that. Nothing
right.
against him as a prospect, but mainly looking at where this team is right now, having JJ McCarthy and then having a $40 million cap hit, Daniel Jones on the team, and kind of having that turmoil be in there. That's not something I was looking forward to. For you guys, it came at the right wind. You guys
Yeah.
let go of Kirk Cousins. And I know you're the biggest Kirk Cousins fan when it comes to being a Vikings fan. But Kirk Cousins moving out the way definitely left that
Yeah,
void there. And now you
yeah.
got journeyman Sam Darnold
Right.
leading the way for you guys this year, man. So speaking on the Giants' sake, speaking on the Giants side of things, this game tomorrow it's crazy that it's week one, but it's basically a must win. It's
Yeah.
basically a must win. And when I say that, it's because after these first 2 weeks of the season, we take on the Commanders after the Vikings in week two, which I think is a winnable game as well. I think both those games are winnable. We're on a tough 6 week stretch where we face teams like the Browns, the Bengals, the Cowboys, the
Mm-hmm,
Eagles. It
mm-hmm.
doesn't stop after these first 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
if you lose this game, you go down 0-1. You have a bad taste in your mouth with a lot of good teams coming through as well.
Yeah.
So thinking about what this game means for the Giants specifically tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
are we, a playoff team? We'll see about that. Are we a team that's going to take strides? I'm not going to say that 100%, but I do know that this game tomorrow is almost basically a must win for the Giants squad. How do you feel about the game heading in tomorrow?
I mean, I might feel different as far as like feeling like it's a must win. I don't think it's a must win for us. Like, so if we were to lose the game, which I don't think we will, but if we do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I won't panic. You know what I'm saying, like, it's going to be good. Like, it's for me as a Vikings fan, I like my team to go through some adversity. Like, I'm going to just keep it real. I do. I like to see it. Like, I like to see them get put down on their ass and see if they can stand back up, because those are the teams that are actually going to make it to the Super Bowl. Like, teams that can go through adversity, get smashed up at the beginning and then fight their way back. You notice, like, there's always those teams that start hitting their stride right after like week 8, week 9. Those are the teams that usually run into the playoffs and are competitive, man, and really give people problems. So, you know, I'm not going to panic after week 1. But for you guys, though, I think there is, in my opinion, I think Daniel Jones definitely has to prove that he's, first of all, he's worth the money, and to be treated as a quarterback that was making $40 million a year, bro. Like, you got to ball out and show y'all fans that he worth that. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, like, you got to think about it. We have Sam Darnold, right? And like, if you look at Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, I was talking to TP about this too. Like, I don't think there's much different in the two guys, bro. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. I really don't. Like, I really don't, man. If you look at the numbers and shit, bro, they're like, I mean, they're pretty much like identical guys, man. Only Daniel Jones might have played a couple. I don't even think he's played more football. I just think, you know, he might have a little bit less interceptions, but at the end of the day, man, they're pretty similar. So, but we're paying our guy $10 million. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, our guy's a backup. He just happens to have to be the starter due to the situation.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, hey, man, look, man, it's going to be good to watch, though. Two quarterbacks that are kind of, you know, similar in my opinion. Just see what they can do, see who has the better game. And I got faith in Sam Darnold going up against a guy like Daniel Jones, to be honest with you. I really do.
Listen,
Really do. Are you,
yeah.
first of all, Juke, are you a Daniel Jones guy?
Listen, I make my takes and I stand on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I make my takes and I stand on them. There's something with that when you're a content creator, you post content out there, it never gets deleted, it never goes anywhere. When you put your take out there, you kind of got to stand on it.
Yeah.
And we got to jump back to it, right? Because listen, Daniel Jones, why did he get that contract? it's partially because of you guys.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's
Ed
partially because of y'all.
Yeah.
My man Daniel Jones had his career games in back-to-back games against the Vikings. And that playoff win, we got stomped out by the Eagles. But that playoff win had a big what if. At that time, Daniel Jones, his contract got, declined. He wasn't able to get that extension. And the Giants were looking at, we just won our first playoff win in 5 years. This quarterback balled out, threw for over 300 yards, rushed for over 80 yards. Like, he had literally his career games in the playoffs in Minnesota. Yeah. And don't think I forget. We got to go back real quick. Don't think I forgot. I was trying to hit you up back then. I couldn't really get your attention, but when I saw you on live stream talking about the New York G strings, man, that touched something that I didn't really expect. And best believe I was in the following live streams trying to get your attention.
Talking about it's funny you bring that up, man. I was mentioning that last night. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna say that this year. You feel me? Because that shit bit me in the you know what, man. You know what I mean? In 2022, so we're not gonna go there this year, man. We're gonna let the game play out first. But yeah, I was hyped, bro. You couldn't tell me nothing.
And I don't blame you. You know why? Because you guys were number 2 seed, I believe. Number 1, number 2 seed that year.
We were up there, because we were 13-4, and we won so many games. We won so many like close games, and like it happened to be. I don't know, like when we won like so many like one possession games, like last second wins and stuff, and like. At that time, I felt like it wasn't luck. Like after it happened like 5 times, because I think we did it almost like 11 times, bro. And I'm like, bro, after like the 3rd or 4th time, I was like, yo, this isn't luck, bro. Like our team just has grit. Our team just knows how to win at the end of the game when it matters. So like I just felt like we were gonna make a run. Like you couldn't tell me in 2022 that we were gonna just make this crazy NFC championship type season run at least. Just based off of how the season was going. So yeah, my confidence was through the roof, boy. You hear me? Like,
and like I said, I don't blame you, but like I just said, you gotta stand on it. And you did. You did stand on it. After that game, I'm pretty sure you didn't expect to lose at that wild card game. But going back to the original topic, man, that's the reason why Daniel Jones got that contract. I was all in. I'm gonna be honest. I was all in. 2023 was gonna be the season. We go into the draft. We traded for Darren Waller. That's one. I felt like Daniel Jones hasn't had a guy over there in New York for a little while now. We tried it with Kenny Golladay. We tried it with other players, but I thought Darren Waller was going to be it for us. Moving past that, we drafted with needs. We signed a free agent linebacker. We haven't had a good linebacker in a while. Everything seemed like everything was going down the right path. And then the season comes. We know the story with the field goal block, go down 40-0 in week 1. I don't think there's any like type of deflation more than that week 1 L to the Cowboys. And it really was never the same. I saw my quarterback, thinking about what I saw in Minnesota, but also thinking about what I saw that year in general. He didn't have, above average wide receivers on his team. And yet he was scrappy, getting wins. He wasn't throwing for 300 yards, but he was getting it done. And I believe that you want a guy that's going to get it done by any means necessary.
But hold on, was he getting it done or was Saquon Barkley getting it done? Because I feel like Saquon Barkley was really like, really holding it down for you guys.
And I definitely think it's mutual. Me personally, Saquon Barkley was my favorite player on the squad. For the team, probably drafting him 2nd overall when we did wasn't the best option. But as a fan of a hell of a playmaker that he is, and we've seen that yesterday, it's probably mutual. I think it was mutual a bit. Maybe more Saquon than Daniel Jones for sure. But Saquon's not throwing the ball when he aired it out in that playoff game, like I said. But we're definitely prisoners of the moment. I think our front office kind of felt handcuffed and felt like, what will we look like moving on from a quarterback that just gave us a playoff win? What would we kind of look like, especially the first time? They were probably thinking this is the best we're going to get and more. And last year was not the same, man. He was granted, our offensive line gave up 85 sacks. Like that's the most in 50 years in a single season. So the offensive line wasn't good. But I seen a timid quarterback, not pulling the trigger on certain throws because everyone's complaining about the offensive line, but some guys are running open and he just
hold on, Juke, man, because you still ain't answer the question though. Like, are you a Daniel Jones guy though? Are you like, man?
Heading into
What are you?
Sunday,
Where you stand at, man? 'Cause
heading
I know
into tomorrow,
TP a Daniel Jones guy. You feel me? He was coming hard about DJ, man.
heading into tomorrow, man. I take Daniel Jones over Sam Darnold.
Okay.
I think that's where we
Okay.
stand in general. I
Okay.
take Daniel
Okay.
Jones over Sam Darnold. Daniel
Okay.
Jones is probably a top 25 quarterback in the league.
Ooh, top 25.
Top
Ooh,
25,
wee.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you ain't no
Uh,
Daniel Jones guy. Okay, that
but
answered the question right there. You ain't no Daniel Jones guy, man.
if he wins, then I'm with him. And if he
Yeah.
doesn't, then I'm not. That's all it is right now. I don't believe that he's a top 15 quarterback. I think you see other quarterbacks, make their talent even better. And I think with the better roster, which he did have last year compared to the year prior, with the
Right.
better roster, everything kind of fell apart. You see certain quarterbacks rise above that occasion. And
Mhm.
unfortunately for him, it didn't, man. So that's just where I stand with him overall. Let me
Right.
catch up in the chat real quick. We read every chat around here. Two Tone saying Giants
Shout
look
out
like
to Tone.
clowns in uniforms and beige pants. Man, don't even get me
Getting
started on that, man.
spicy, man. Let's go.
I think the jersey is tough. I think the jersey is tough, and I think the helmets are. The beige pants kind of got
They
me.
should have just did like plain white pants. I feel like maybe plain white pants or something
Yeah,
like that.
with the Giants' 100th year, I see the inspo, but yeah, once again, man. Mary saying respect the passion and loyalty that every fan has for their team. Listen, I think if you're a Vikings or a Giants fan, you are the definition of loyal.
Yeah.
We're not that team that bandwagons get behind. You know what I'm saying?
But at least you guys, I mean, you guys have Super Bowl and stuff too, though.
Yeah,
Being a Vikings fan, man, like we still haven't got one yet, man, and we're still pushing for that, man. We've been hanging on. At least y'all can talk about a Super Bowl.
for sure.
Shit.
The only time we bring out those cards is against teams that haven't won in a while.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, though, because history's starting to get long winded now. It only gets further.
It's like Cowboys fans, you know what I mean? They keep bringing up all them shit since 1995, right? I think that's the last time they won. Like, man, leave that shit back there. Yeah,
I let every Cowboys fan know. Listen, at least I was allowed to see my team win a Super Bowl ring. We're getting to that point where you might have not been.
Right.
But TP saying agreed. This game does everything for our momentum. I 100% agree. Two Tone says we will win by 10 points.
Okay.
Listen, I love the optimism because a guy on your squad, he happens to be one of the starting linebackers on that team. He did air out something. Did you see what Ivan Pace said?
Oh, yeah, man. My boy, man. Ivan Pace a dog, man. Like he said what needed to be said, man. They asked him if it's going to be a matchup. He said, matchup, man. We about to go crazy, man. Ain't no matchup. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no matchup. Yeah.
I can't. All I know is I can't. If there's anything I take from that comment, I don't look at it from the young player. I know he's the second. Honestly, I mean, I found out Ivan Pace through your video talking about him as an undrafted rookie.
Right.
I don't look at him too much. I look at it like Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Giant squad. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What do you do when you hear about teams talking about you in this manner?
Yeah.
Because when you're in the locker room or you ask them a question, you talk about Patrick Mahomes, people gonna show respect. When you talk about even other guys like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, people gonna show respect. Was there any respect in that statement? You got to go earn it. Ain't nothing else.
And our team might feel like a lot of our team, like Vikings fans, understand this too. Like I know Giants fans hold on to 2022, how he played in that playoff game, but we know as Vikings fans that it was fool's gold because our defensive coordinator Ed Donatel was just horrible, bro. Horrible. He was literally supposed to get fired like 3 weeks before that playoff game. And they wound up just keep holding on to him. We were winning games and still wanted to fire him, bro. Like fact, we were winning and calling for his job. Like he should have been fired. And they let him finish the season out for some reason. And it messed us up. And it messed us up, but it also messed you guys up, if you ask me, because I feel like if you guys were playing against a competent defensive coordinator that understood how to make adjustments and stuff throughout that game, then Daniel Jones wouldn't have got that huge contract for sure.
And listen, we still went out the next week. We got smacked by the Eagles.
Yeah.
And the front office said, hey, we just need to give him some help.
Yeah. There you go.
Here we are.
There you go. There you go.
Here we are. You know what I'm saying?
How do you feel about the help he got?
So I'm gonna be honest, and some people might look at me a little crazy. I think currently Saquon Barkley's not on this team, right? But I think currently this is probably more help that he has now than last year. currently, right? Last year, they went out and got Darren Waller, still had Saquon, but we didn't touch the O-line at all. At all. We were just banking on the development of certain young stars, or hoping to be young stars. Evan Neal was a top pick. He's looked like a bust up until this point. And heading into tomorrow, he's not starting. I think that's an X factor. Evan Neal not starting tomorrow is definitely an upgrade for us because Evan Neal has been a liability. So thinking about them adding, John Runyon Jr., he's from your division on the Packers. Greg Van Roten, solid. I wouldn't even say solid because he was kind of able to get picked up anywhere and he got signed up with us late. But familiar with the offensive line coach we got from the Raiders, Jermaine Illuminor, shifted our right tackle. Solid right tackle. We just need a guy to hold up for a couple of seconds. Evan Neal's problem was he was getting beat like this by speed edge rushers. And once the front side guy is already coming at you, what are you going to do? Well, what can you do? The play is already done. Unless you got a quarterback that can really make something shake out of that. And I feel like that's what we definitely needed. But hopefully heading into the season, you drafted Malik Neighbors. Hey, there was reports talking about the Vikings were interested in trading up to get Neighbors and trading Justin Jefferson. I think all that is smoke, but I do believe where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think a lot of people wanted Malik Neighbors. I think they did because this guy was electric in college. And a little tidbit, he's the highest drafted wide receiver in Giants history. So, high expectations for the guy, but also when you think about Daniel Jones, this is probably the best weapon he's had out the outside, and hopefully he doesn't, fumble that. No pun intended.
Yeah, no. Like Neighbors, I mean, obviously he's still unproven, but he seems like he gonna be all right. I mean, the dude Johnson, who's the other LSU receiver that went to the Jaguars? Johnson Jr. I think
Brian Johnson, I believe.
I think it's
Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah, like he he looked good too, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying he looked good too. So, man, I don't know, man. I was when I was on the podcast with some of your fellow content creators, man. I was just telling them like, Neighbors is unproven, man. Could he be something? We'll see. We gonna see, man. A couple hours, man. We gonna see. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of times, man, them wide receivers, they be hype in college, but but LSU does breed some good wide receivers.
And y'all know about that single-handedly.
We know that LSU does breed good wide receivers, so I give you that.
Neighbors broke all the records at LSU. Like the records that we know and the players that we know that came from there, Neighbors broke all of them records. I think that says a lot. So the hype is there for sure, and best believe, we're kind of relying on him. Shout out to Dylan Dotson. Skull Gang. Hey, we got a lot of Skull in the building, man. We need more Giants.
For sure, man. We in there. We need
more Big Blue pulling up, man. Dan Jones comeback player of the year. Hey, man. I'm rooting for it. Like, I'll never root against a player. That's the biggest misconception.
That ain't happening, TP.
I think you might not be, you don't have to be 100% for the player, but still root for them at the same time. I'll never root against my team. That would go crazy. Mary said, our defense wrapped up that gift. We have a much better defense now, and Flores. Listen, Brian Flores is a veteran coach in this league. We know about Brian Flores. Ironically, I don't want to touch too much on it, but he was in the coaching carousel for the Giants, and there was all that stuff that came out.
Dirty. They did him dirty, y'all. They did our boy dirty.
I have no control over what happens.
No, that was crazy though. That was crazy work. That was nasty work. You know what I'm saying?
And let's jump right into it. Right, we're already talking about Flores. Mary going ahead and saying can't wait to see what Flores has planned for Jones. Let me catch right up. Elijah saying best roster Jones has had to date for sure. Appreciate you for tapping in. Skull all day Ed. Shout out to y'all, man. Let's talk about it. Brian Flores, right? From what I know of Brian Flores, this is his second year in y'all system, I believe. Second year with the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So from what I know of Brian Flores, he's always been an aggressive defensive coordinator. Really likes to come after quarterbacks. Blitzes. I believe he had the most blitz percentage in the league last year. And that says a lot because we're coming from Wayne Martindale, who blitzed a ton on our side too. Wayne Martindale's not our defensive coordinator anymore, but we're kind of familiar with how that defense rolls and how that defense goes all in all. I think Brian Flores' system, definitely makes a mockery out of young quarterbacks, inexperienced quarterbacks, and it really forces you to make a decision quickly. Good quarterbacks kind of pick those defenses apart, and inexperienced ones, kind of throw themselves in a hole when it comes to that defense. That's kind of the mock-up I got from watching Brian Flores in Miami and watching him ever since he's been out from there as well. How do you feel about Brian Flores in that defense? Because that's another thing. This defense does look a little different as well. I kept tabs on the Vikings a little bit. Daniil Hunter not being there, I feel like it's a big loss. You are banking on other edge rushers that you did acquire. It looks like the Texans and you guys did a swap.
Well,
but expecting that production, this guy was leading the league in sacks.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why it's different. It's different because when you think about Daniil Hunter was all we had, right? So this is why our edge rushing actually got better, or pass rush, shall I say, got better. Because when you think about Daniil Hunter would have 13, 14 sacks. The next guy under him would have 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? The next guy. Because we got Patrick Jones. I'm probably going to name guys that you guys probably aren't familiar with. Patrick Jones, DJ Wanhams, names that y'all don't know. See, this year, I think it's better because we added guys like Van Ginkel, who has a semi-name. You know what I mean? Get some sacks. Grenard had 12 and a half. So pretty much what I'm saying to say is like the depth now is a lot stronger now. Like it's not just Daniil Hunter, and then if you eliminate Daniil Hunter, there is nothing else. We went out and drafted a first round, edge rusher in Dallas Turner. So shows you're being aggressive there. I like that. And a lot of times, how it is in the NFL. When you're talking about edge rusher, rookie doesn't matter, right? If you're good, you're good. Like as an edge rusher, bro, like it doesn't matter if you're a rookie. If you're good, you're just good. So there's a high possibility that tomorrow Dallas Turner goes out there and just already shows that he's a good edge rusher. Like he's going to be an issue, right? And he kind of showed that in preseason. I think he had like a sack and a half in preseason, a couple pressures. After that, they kind of just stopped playing him because they were like, you him. Right. We see what we got. So again, I just think now we have a lot more options at edge rusher. That's the thing with Daniil. That's why I wasn't too mad with Daniil, because I'm like, yeah, he is a beast. Like if we could have, don't get me wrong, if we could have kept Daniil and bring Grenard in or something, like, okay, sign me up. But if you're just going to keep Daniil and then you're not going to draft an edge rusher and you're going to keep having Patrick Jones or these, these 3rd, 4th round guys that, could be good, but they just aren't proven. They've been in the league 3-4 years. It's like usually 3-4 years in the league as an edge rusher, bro. If you ain't making no noise, you probably aren't going to make noise. For sure. You probably aren't. You know what I mean? Like, not like that. So, I mean, hey, look, our depth's good, man. Hey, look, it's going to be, I think Brian Flores definitely is going to cause issues to Daniel Jones. And to say this, in 2022, we blitzed the least in the NFL. We got Brian Flores. Now we blitz the most. I mean, it's night and day. So what I do hope is that Daniel Jones, I'm sure your coaching staff puts him on point, but I hope he doesn't believe that he's playing the 2022 Vikings. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that ain't what he believes, because, he might feel good like, 2022, I did my thing against him. I'm straight, but no, it's a whole different team, bro. Whole different defense.
At this point, it might be a whole different Daniel Jones as well. And I don't want to harp on it too much, but the main thing that kind of goes underlying, he's coming off of an ACL tear. Like, not only is it Daniel Jones, because we know what we think about when we hear Daniel Jones. This guy has been rehabbing all offseason. He got hurt in like the 6th or 7th game of the season, so it's been a little while. But coming off of that ACL tear, luckily he's a quarterback, because we've seen it with running backs, with Saquon Barkley and other guys. It kind of takes them a little while to get their full strength back and their full speed back. Daniel Jones, a big reason why he was a weapon was with his legs. Is he able to be as mobile? Is he going to be able to trust his leg as much as he did? That's a big question mark heading into the matchup as well. So I could definitely see your take on, the front four, and, you're pretty much saying Daniil Hunter was a solo act. Yeah. I feel like our front four was kind of in the same boat these past couple of years, and going out and adding a guy like Brian Burns. The hope is for Brian Burns to be a stud, but it's also for Kayvon Thibodeau to really step in as a stud as well. This guy was a number 5 overall pick a couple years ago. We're heading into year 3. Like you said, you kind of know if you're a good edge rusher or not in this first couple years. We're heading into year 3, and he had the sack numbers last year. He posted, I believe, 11.5 sacks, but a lot of them, comes in bunches. and specifically against bad teams. Last year, he had around 3 sacks against the Jets. The Commanders, I always tell everyone, there's death, there's taxes, and the Giants whooping the Commanders. That's kind of just a thing that happens. It doesn't matter how bad we are. The Commanders have always been, the team that's always under us. And Kayvon Thibodeau definitely rises to the occasion when it comes to the Commanders. So with that being said, like you're saying, when it comes to, more of a team effort in the pass rush department, Brian Burns should only help Kayvon Thibodeau, because guess what? All the attention's on Brian Burns. Kayvon Thibodeau hopefully, gets things together. And, you guys have a good pair of tackles on your side of the ball. And I believe the same thing for us. Thomas is one of the top left tackles in this league. The hope is that he shuts things down on his side. Now we got to worry about our right tackle and see where things go overall. And I think an underlying storyline, like TP just said right now, the dopest thing about this game is that we're about to see a chess match, Coach Daboll and Flores. And that's been the number one thing I've really been hinging on ever since we got Daboll. Daboll was his offensive mind coming from Buffalo. He helped Josh Allen develop into the quarterback that he is. He really unlocked him. We heard all of that. And this man has not been calling plays for the last 2 years. It's been Mike Kafka. It's been, Brian Daboll's system by having Mike Kafka call plays. Listen, him calling plays in Buffalo is what got him this job. Let him call plays and see where we're really at, especially considering, listen, things changed quickly in this league. Brian Daboll went from winning Coach of the Year to, is he going to get fired after his second year? That's how bad things got last year, because we were losing games 40-0, losing by 30, losing by multiple score touchdowns. So thinking about where Brian Daboll is, if you're going to go out and, obviously get fired or anything, at least die on your own sword. Go out there, call play, and hopefully let's see if the Brian Daboll that we thought we were going to get when we signed you can go out and put together a good game plan, man. Because once again, man, thinking about Flores and what his defense calls for, I think, when you're aggressive, it can work as a double-edged sword. You might sniff your way into a couple turnovers, but you might get got as well. Coming from a wing Martindale system, seeing him blitz, I can tell you the numerous amount of times that, we're blitzing, we're sending the house, and it's the perfect screen pass that's coming your way. And next thing you know, the guy's springing up for 25 yards. So thinking about that, Coach Daboll, tape is out there, but the biggest thing is just making sure you're able to bounce back from a lot of things you do face and really just setting things up properly for your squad. Because once again, when you think about your DBs as well, you got some guys out there. You signed, Stephon Gilmore. I don't think Stephon Gilmore is the same corner that he was, but I would have still took Stephon Gilmore as my CB2, let alone a CB1. You know what I'm saying? So speaking about your DB position, what do you think about Stephon Gilmore? How do you feel about his matchup heading into this game? Because we don't have that number one guy, but I would imagine he's probably going to be, featuring a guy like Neighbors or maybe even a guy like Darius Slayton.
Yeah, I feel really good. It was a move that had to happen for the Minnesota Vikings, and it did. Again, that's just another prime example, man, of why I say, like, our GM and our coaches are very calculated individuals, man. They really are, man. Bringing in somebody like Stephon Gilmore, a veteran presence. Not only do we have him, that's a veteran, but Byron Murphy, he's considered a veteran too. He's a younger veteran, but he's still a veteran. And then we bring in Shaquille Griffin, which again is another dog, man. So we got this is the first year that the Vikings in a long time that the Vikings actually have 3 veterans that are going to start out on the field, bro, like at DB. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've always, for the past 4-5 years, man, we've always had to have a rookie or two, a lot of times 2 out there starting, man. And it just hasn't been working. It's not the formula, because we never getting like a first round rookie or nothing like that. Even though we did, RIP to Jeff Gladney, we did draft him in the first, but it didn't work out how it was supposed to. But again, we finally have some veterans, man. This DB group, man, on top of adding Josh Metellus, Harrison Smith, I think we just have that veteran savviness out there that's going to be able to win us a lot of football games, barring they stay healthy. So, I mean, look, that the matchup's going to be good, man. Tomorrow's going to be a fun game. Speaking of the chess match, I think Brian Flores might have a little grudge too. I might have a little grudge, man. Like, hey, look, the Giants were supposed to hire me, bro. They did me dirty, because he did interview with you guys.
Yeah.
So, he might feel some type of way. Your film might feel some type of way. So he might be trying his best to
make you guys look foolish. It could backfire, but again, I'm sure he's gonna wake up with something on his chest. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's waking up tomorrow with something on his chest, man. Ain't no way he just forgot about it.
Yeah, 100%. And for people that don't know, pretty much what happened was he was interviewing for us around that, head coaching circle. He interviews for us, or before his second interview, I believe. Bill Belichick shoots his guy a text saying, "Congrats, Brian, congrats on the job." And he goes, "Hey, thanks, coach, but I'm actually going into my interview now." Brian Flores wasn't the guy that got hired. It was Brian Daboll. I spoke on it. I don't know what Bill Belichick was trying to do. Destroy us from within. I have no idea, because you never hear stuff like this happen. But definitely, I think that's John made a great point. Brian on Brian crime. That's definitely what happened, man. So he probably definitely does have something, up his sleeve, and he's definitely coming ready to shut us out. I know that's what the attention is.
He definitely gonna have some anno on his chest, man. So it's gonna be a good game, man. I think for both sides. I think this is a really good week one for both sides, because it's not like, although we're fans of our teams, man. I don't think we look at this game as like super challenging for each side, right? Like we as Vikings fans are like, all right, cool. We got the Giants for week one. You know what I mean? And y'all are probably the same. Oh, cool. We got the Vikings for week one. It ain't nothing crazy. Like, we ain't going against the Chiefs or the Ravens or some shit like that for week one. It's kind of a game where we can really gauge and see, like, just go out there, play a smart game, and we can walk away with a victory. You know what I mean? So,
and realistically, it's week one. Like, there is no like guys picking up steam. There's no hot team right now. It's week one. You really don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know what you're going to get from either side. Like I said, a lot of the things that we're talking about is a lot of speculation. Even speaking on, and we could jump right onto your offense as well. I think a lot of it is, what are we going to expect from a guy like Sam Darnold? Now, I hate to sound like a hater sometimes, but, I feel like when things are due, they're just due. Sam Darnold, once upon a time, some people wanted him on the Giants. We seen Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones go head to head in New York in the Battle of MetLife. And Sam Darnold threw 5 touchdowns in a win against us. We thought Sam Darnold was going to be next up. Then next thing you know, man gets booted from the Jets, loses his starting job in the Panthers to Baker Mayfield. And next thing you know, he's a backup for the 49ers. You guys last year did start a couple of backup quarterbacks. When you think of Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs, and I could be missing a couple that might have started.
Jaren Hall.
Last year. Jaren Hall. I saw he got cut. I saw he got
cut. He was a rookie though, so it kind of was like, it was just one of those, why not? You know what I mean? Give him a shot. Let's see what happens. But
yeah, it might have been more of a fan favorite, because I mean, Tommy DeVito, if he got cut, the Giants fans would have threw a whole fit. But thinking about specifically, once again, your quarterback going into it with the weapons, I let everyone know, Justin Jefferson, best receiver in the league. Yeah. I don't have any gripes with saying that. I don't go into tomorrow thinking we're going to be able to shut him down. My best thing is just hoping that we limit him to scoring touchdowns, keep him out of the end zone. And easier said than done, of course. But once upon a time, we know we got it done. We got it done one time with Kirk Cousins, who I think is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. But thinking about what O'Connell can do with Sam Darnold specifically, what do you think he has planned for Sam Darnold? Because I think also, too, for the fans' perspective, we haven't seen Sam Darnold start consecutively for a very long time. So I think people kind of forget who he is, or kind of forget the type of player he was. He had all the talent, but the thing is, he kind of could have put it together all on the field. And like you said, turning over the ball, he just makes some mistakes that, hopefully the Giants can run into some of those mistakes. But that's really the Achilles heel for Sam Darnold. How do you feel about him going into this matchup?
Look, I'm not a fan of Sam Darnold. I'm just going to keep it real. I'm not. I really, when we signed him, I wasn't a fan. I also understood as a fan of the Vikings that he wasn't going to be long-term anyways. I mean, he's a backup. Like, he got brought in here to be a backup. That's what he is. He's a backup. But again, you do still have to consider that. And this is the thing. Just because you get picked in the first round and you get picked number 3, or like Daniel Jones picked number 5, doesn't mean that it was the right decision. Like, I was saying this, like, mistakes are made all the time in the draft, man. All the time. And you know what I mean? Like, that's just what it is. Like, people keep trying, like Vikings fans, oh, well, he was the number 3 pick, and it doesn't matter. The Jets effed up, bro. Like, that's just what it is. They they messed up. You know what I mean? They made a mistake. But again, he can throw the ball. I do like how he can throw the ball. But, you know, a lot of the greats will tell you that 90% of this game is mental. And that's what worries me about Sam Darnold. It's not his physical ability. It's does he know when to throw the ball, where to throw the ball? You know, is he seeing ghosts like he said he did as his famous line? Like, that's the thing, turnover issues. He had turnover issues in college.
Yeah.
You know, so this is like it just transferred right over to the NFL, man. This is something that he did in college as a prospect coming into the NFL draft. So this wasn't no new information. This is evidence, man. This is there. And he continued to do it. So that's what worries me as a Vikings fan is, you know, we as Vikings fans, we have a lot of us that tend to, well, he's never had the weapons like Justin Jefferson. It's okay. You can have the weapons, but if you don't know how to make the right decisions with the weapons, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, hey, look, man, but I am confident with my team as a whole because of our running game, and we can get on that. I just feel like all around, I feel like there'll be ways, and hopefully Kevin O'Connell's smart enough to realize, well, if Sam Darnold can't drop back 40 times, 30 times, well, then we got to find other ways to win football games. We can't win football games depending on Sam Darnold throwing the ball all over the yard. Can he make this throw and that throw? Okay, those are the position we need to put him in to make those type of throws that he's comfortable with, but we can't expect him to make every throw and do it, you know, the right way. So again, utilize your full team. I think this is going to force Kevin O'Connell to really use the whole team and really get creative, which I'm here for. You know, I'm here for it.
I agree 100%. Before we touch back on that, I want to catch up in the chat real quick. And we also got a couple people in the building. Hey, make yourself known. Say what's up to Rap. Say what's up to the Juke. And
man,
pretty much just show your team pride, man.
Shout out everybody in the building.
Yeah, Mary saying, think Flores will go after Jones early, set the tone early. Two-Tone thinks we about to see a movie. I think it's going to be a movie, whether it be for us or y'all. I think it definitely is going to be a movie. All day Ed, Vikings have a nice defensive back group. Listen, I mean, I can't argue with that. I would have took, you know, Stephon Gilmore because we had to settle with the guy that we had previously, and he had the opportunity to go anywhere. I'm speaking about Dory Jackson, if anyone doesn't know. He had the opportunity to go anywhere. Yeah. Somehow, some way, he lands back on the same team. We already gave up his number, and he signs for a vet minimum. Yeah, it makes me feel a little fishy, you know. Ryan saying, "Let's go, Juke." Appreciate you for jumping in once again. Mary letting you know that she agrees, and TP
talking crazy.
Bobby Okereke and McFadden with our D-line is eliminating the running game.
Yes.
You think y'all are going to have Rap. And listen, we see eye to eye. This is exactly what I was about to bring up. And this is why I think we are definitely in for a good matchup. When you think about Sam Darnold, you know, you don't want him to drop back 30, 40 times. That's exactly what I want to happen. The only way that happens is to really eliminate your running game. Last year, it didn't go as planned for you guys with specifically running the ball. And I think that's why you saw, you know, a lot of quarterbacks dropping back. Alexander Madison didn't turn out, I think, what you guys expected, especially considering how many times he fumbled. I had a couple people that had him in fantasy, and they were losing their minds over that. So speaking on specifically, you know, your running game, I think it really starts up front, limiting that running game. And as you know, a lot of Viking fans should know this player. Big Dex is sitting there in the middle saying, you know, I'm here regardless. You know, Dexter Lawrence, I had a Vikings fan comment on my other video the other day letting us know that, you know, we have a bad center and they have a top center in the league. Bradbury was getting his lunch ate by Dexter Lawrence last time they saw each other. I saw Bradbury getting pushed into Kirk Cousins' lap a couple of times, but Kirk Cousins, once again, like I spoke on when it comes to that defense, if you're able to get the ball quickly and make the right decision, you're going to get yards. But in terms of getting in the end zone is a real big thing. Dexter Lawrence being up there in the middle, and we traded for Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, hopefully getting better. The front four has to limit the running game to get Sam Darnold in those positions to throw the ball that much. I think if we get into that point, the Giants secondary is what's really, you know, little worrisome. You know, we have a second-year corner being our CB1. CB2, we were hoping guys were going to step up this whole training camp, and clearly it didn't happen because we signed a Dory Jackson back last week, a week before week 1. So that lets everyone know kind of where we're at with CB2 in general. So the defensive back group, is really where, once again, they can get picked on for sure. But if this front four gets there before that happens, that's what we're leaning on, hopefully.
Yeah. Hey, look, you guys definitely have a defensive line, right? Like we touched on that too earlier in the week, man. Like the defensive line's there. You guys have a couple names on there that I think if you guys your keys to victory is definitely gonna go through that for sure. It's gonna go through that. But we can neutralize that, man. Like listen, Aaron Jones, when you're talking about a guy, and I know your guys' defensive line's good, but if you look at his last 5 games, including the 2 playoff games, the man had over 100 yards every single one. I mean, this man literally getting 6 yards a pop. I mean, he was balling. If we can see any kind of trend of that, and he carries that on into tomorrow, it doesn't matter what your defensive line look like. Listen, some running backs are just good. They get in their groove, man, and there ain't no stopping it. You know what I'm saying? They just find the gap. So again, that's what I'm hoping. Now, is it going to happen? We have to see, man. You know what I mean? We're going to have to see, man, because he could easily fall off starting tomorrow. And, he had his little 5-game run at the end of the season with the Packers, and that was it. That was the last of them. Now he's at the tail end. But I think, man, my hopes are that he's going to continue that trend and give us at least one more season, man. Give us one more season of some good running, Aaron Jones, man. Let's go.
I think you guys signed him. You guys signed him to a 1-year deal, right?
Yeah.
You know what
man,
that means.
Our GM big on 1-year deals, man. Prove it.
Yeah.
And
But you know what that means. It's not only prove it, we're gonna run you into the dirt. They go give Aaron Jones as many opportunities to go get a tud because you're on a 1-year deal. Listen, if it don't work out, we don't have to pay you next year. That's all it is. Versus if it does work out, obviously it looks like a great signing. And the Giants were in the running back market. Aaron Jones is definitely a top target for me. I don't know how much you guys signed him for, but clearly it might have been out of the price range that Joe Shane wanted to spend because we settled for Devin Singletary, which I think Devin Singletary could be good. But Aaron Jones, he's always been slippery, man. That guy, when it comes to screen passes, when it comes to certain things going on, Aaron Jones has always been like that thorn that once the ball's in his hands, like he's going to make something happen.
Yeah, and he's good out the backfield catching, and he's just a very versatile running back, man. He really is, man. And I'm excited, man. I think that was a great pickup for us. I mean, even though he is older, he is getting up there in age, but I think he's still got a couple years in him.
Yeah, you haven't seen the fall off. That's the most important thing. So definitely. John letting us know it might be too early, but score predictions. Hey, we're gonna touch on that. We're gonna touch on that eventually. Elijah saying Dex finna eat. I think Dex eats no matter what. Just hopefully, once again, I just think the Giants need to hit home at other positions. Dex is going to be clogged up by 2 offensive linemen every play, I believe, especially in the running game. It's really on the other guys to take advantage. If you're getting, blocked by one dude, you need to make something shake with that one matchup. TP saying Juke and Form Rap Okereke is the best linebacker on the field on both teams. Listen, I don't even think this is a debate with this statement. We can read the numbers. Okereke was a home run for us last year, and I like, once again.
Well, was he a rookie last year?
No, he was not actually. He was a free agent picked up from the Colts.
From the Colts. Okay. Yeah, I never heard of it. I never heard of the guy. So
I made a little preview on him. He was obviously, Darius Leonard was the big guy on the Colts, the linebacker. He was a top linebacker. Okereke was his alongside, teammate, and he really flourished last year. Last year was when everyone kind of knew who this guy was. And like you're even saying, you didn't even know if he was a rookie or not. He really made his name known last year. And when you think about what Bobby Okereke was, definitely the leader of the defense, sideline to sideline, over 100 tackles. And even in coverage, that's where he really shocked me. Covering tight ends and even covering his zones that he was guarding in the middle of the field. He had a couple interceptions last year, and he also had a couple tip balls in the air, letting other guys come down with it. I think what we expected out of him, he definitely exceeded those expectations. And now you're even seeing it. Some people are saying that he's a top 10 linebacker. They feel like he got snubbed a bit from some awards. But once again, I talk about the NFL all the time. Some people say it stands for not for long. You got to come back and do it again. And I have all the faith and confidence that Bobby Okereke will. And especially once you're saying with Aaron Jones, we got the D-line there. If they're able to stay gap disciplined. And when I say gap disciplined, I mean if you guys are running a stretch play, if you're running a zone play, and you guys are shifting towards one side, the hole is going to be open the linebacker is going to have to pick a hole, the same hole that the running back picks. That's kind of how these plays work. Everyone shifts towards one side, find the open gap, hit it. We need our linebacker, Bobby Okereke, and also Micah McFadden. I think Micah McFadden played, well with Bobby Okereke. I wouldn't take him as a straight up linebacker, but we had good linebacker play. And if you're a Giants fan in here, man, we haven't had good linebacker play in years. And when I say years, we were wishful thinking with Jalen Smith on the tail end. Jalen Smith one time was a dog for the Cowboys, but then this guy in his last couple of years, man, we had him on the Giants, and it was a mess. It was a straight mess.
I'm gonna call this right now, and this for TP right here, man. Ivan Pace will be the best linebacker on the field tomorrow. That's my prediction, and it's gonna show. All right, and then the post game, we gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have to talk about it. Ain't no running from it. Tomorrow is happening. We gonna be able to talk about it. Hey, ain't no more what we think gonna happen. That proof is gonna be in the pudding. You know what I mean? I can't wait. I love it. Like a carrot. What's his name?
Okay.
I was telling TB, man, a lot of the guys, man, never heard of them. You know what I mean? But hey, look, we excited to see what happens. We excited to see what happens, man. Like I'm not gonna say he isn't good. I just think that we gonna be able to neutralize Broski a little bit, man. I ain't worrying about it. Yeah, I mean, I ain't worrying about it. Pace is a dog, man. Just like how Karake for you guys, how you guys get to watch him week in and week out. It's the same thing with Pace on our side. Just like the sleeper guy that is just a dog, and we feel like we're confident now after watching his rookie year being an undrafted free agent that we could say, hey, we got one of the best linebackers in the NFL, man. This dude's an animal, man. Like his college tape shows it too. Like the same way how he looked in college, bro. He just came into the NFL and started doing the same shit.
And that's dope to see. That's dope to see mainly because of his story. Once again, he wasn't drafted. He's picked up after. And
because of his size, bro. Like that's weird.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, bro, that the NFL will really not draft a guy because he's not tall enough, because he's not 3 inches taller than what he is. I mean, it's like, wow, really? Like really? The man won like every award you can give away, bro. Like straight up for a linebacker. It's crazy.
We might have our own story with a guy in here. I don't know if anyone's in the chat. Let me know if you've seen my Elijah Chapman video. Elijah Chapman's also a guy that, he's shown flashes in this preseason that we're really excited for. And he also was an undrafted free agent.
Is it what position?
He was a D tackle.
Okay.
D-tackle. And the biggest thing with Elijah Chapman, why he wasn't drafted to a team, is because he's undersized. He's only 5'11", 6 foot, I believe. And for a D tackle, once again, Dexter Lawrence is 6'4", 300-something pounds, and he's an athlete. Versus you have Elijah Chapman sitting next to him, 5'11". But this guy has been mauling guys in training camp. He's been making his name known in preseason, and we can only hope that it continues to translate. And it could be another Ivan Pace story. I mean, it happens every now and then. You just always hope that your team really hits on a guy like Ivan Pace, or even, once upon a time, Julian Edelman was barely taken in the late rounds as well. Those stories are all over the place. You want to see guys like that really turn into one. Elijah Chapman for us, I believe he might be a starting D tackle because he was a guy, once again, undrafted free agent. He went from undrafted free agent to not playing in the last preseason game because he's making the roster. And some of these guys aren't even guaranteed a spot when you're a 7th rounder, let alone undrafted. So hopefully we're seeing something like that, but we will see with tomorrow, man. And once again, Ivan Pace just opened up a can of worms, because if they go out there and lose tomorrow, that clip is going to be played on this live stream.
Yeah.
I might hook onto it all year. If anyone asks me about any matchup, I'm going to let them know it's not going to be a matchup.
It's not going to be a matchup. It ain't going to be no matchup, man. We about to go crazy. Hey, look, you heard what Ivan Pace said, man. You know what I mean? Hey, look, I love those type of players too. That's why I really leaned into Ivan Pace. And I mean, that's not the main reason I watched this film and fell in love with him. But again, I love his attitude, man. Some people would call it like, oh, he's arrogant and shit. No, bro, he's a football player, man. Like, you out there, bro, you're going to war, man. You know what I mean? Like, I one thing about Minnesota, man, is I feel like we had a ton of nice guys. You know what I mean? And it's like one of those things where it's like, bro, you need a couple savages on your team, man.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. As we catch up in the chat real quick, Kayvon, Brian Burns versus Darrisaw O'Neal gonna be something to watch. Definitely, I think once again, if this defense is gonna hit home for us, it's gonna be making it work with guys like Darisaw and O'Neal. I think that's your sure right end and right tackle, left tackle combo. I think the inside is a little, penetrable. I think we can definitely make things shake on the interior. But that's what we're here for tomorrow. Once again,
our interior definitely are weak. Our interior offensive line is weak for sure. And that's why I feel like every time we've played y'all all the way back until you guys have had Dexter Lawrence on the team, we've always said that, he's been the X factor. He's Vikings X factor when we talk about the Giants, when we do play them, ever since he's been on y'all's team, because our interior offensive line has always been weak. So we know like that's where we can really get dominated. If y'all attack it the right way, like coming up the middle. And it is a bad recipe when you're talking about our quarterback now too, Sam Darnold. Like for sure. Like if Dex gets in there and starts applying pressure all game, bro, it's gonna get ugly. I know that in reality. You know what I'm saying? But as the fan in me is like, it ain't gonna happen.
And I agree. Listen, we addressed offensive line, but if anyone's talking about O-line, for us, after what we saw last year, I'm just hoping for average play. I don't even need best of the best. I'm looking for average. Let my quarterback have 3 seconds to make a decision. Sometimes my quarterback wants 6 seconds and holds on to the ball for too long. I want it to be the offensive line did their job, and if the quarterback held on to the ball too long, so be it. Because for us, guys are just getting beat. We signed all the guys we did for a reason, T-Pay let him know. Listen to the knowledge. Come on, man. Elijah calling Cap. I might have been late. He called Cap on something you said, Rap. He called Cap on something. I know Ivan Pace, once again, Mary letting him know, all day Ed. Ivan Pace is a beast. Listen, nothing against the player himself, but, he might be a meme for the rest of my season. I might have to clip him to the soundboard. I'll be playing that every matchup. I don't care. For those who don't know, he's the guy in the viral video that chased down the running back from the Texans. 100%. Appreciate that assist, TP. A little Lawrence Taylor, 56. Just watch him. I'm assuming he's talking about someone on your team.
You're talking about Ivan Pace. Yeah.
Ivan Pace, 56. Dope. I thought he was 41. Did he switch?
No, he's number 0 now. He got his college number. 50. Oh, maybe he's talking about somebody 56. I don't know who's number 56 on our team. I think he's like comparing Pace to Lawrence Taylor. I think that's
could be. And that's big shoes to fill.
Which I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that's
we're talking about
that's a reach, my guy, two-tone, man. I love you, broski, but I ain't gonna lie,
we're talking about probably the best player in history. Best player in history.
We talk about an animal. You feel me? Yeah, you can't even play like Lawrence Taylor in 2024, bro. Your ass to get banned from the NFL. You hear me? Like for real, them boy will fine your ass for life. They just gonna ban you for life. And that's you can't play no more, dog.
On the field and off the field. Off the field as well, because I don't know. I heard some crazy stories about Lawrence Taylor off the field. He got all that energy somehow, some way, but I ain't here to speak on that. You know what it is, man. But once again, man, speaking on tomorrow, and we've been talking about it ever since it got announced on the schedule. Week 1 against the Vikings. The Giants are home. I think that kind of gets pushed to the side. That's another thing when it comes to this quarterback matchup. I think Daniel Jones being at home and not being in opponent territory, Sam Darnold being so. I definitely think hopefully home field advantage kind of takes over for us because I am a believer on, if you're going to play good, you're going to play good. I don't really believe in, the whole, the fans in there making it hard for the other team. I think some guys, you see Aaron Rodgers, he goes to the enemy.
Some guys are just good. Some guys are better away. To be honest with you, a lot of football players like to play away because they they actually like to have that pressure and shut the crowd out. It's more like fulfilling to go to somebody else's house and stomp on them. You know what I mean? Like shit, we used to feel like that even in high school football. Like, man, let's go. I can't wait to travel to this school and they got all their fans and we just shut them up. You know what I mean? Like for real. So
So even with us being home, I had a video dropped on this. Even with us being home, the Vikings are still favored in this game. And even when it comes to betting lines, listen, I'm not a betting man. I don't know if you got any sponsorships with Prize Picks. You see it all around YouTube. I don't. So we don't got to touch on it too much. But the way money lines work is home teams are normally given 3 points anyways. Right. The Vikings are still favored even with that going on. So
we're what are we? 1 point?
1.5.
1.5. So it's a 4.5 swing. So it's pretty much 4.5 technically if you think about y'all having the home field advantage.
In the favor of the Vikings. So I definitely think, to say once again, I think it's very a winnable game for both sides. But to say that the Vikings are favored, even with us being at home, a little slap in the face. And once again, all this stuff does not matter unless the Giants go on the field and really change these narratives. Because with it being New York, I think a lot of the takes in New York kind of gets, bolstered out of proportion, especially considering there were once upon a time, like you said, the history is history now. We had Super Bowls, but we haven't had Super Bowls or even success in years. And I'm talking about like we got some Giants fans that's in the building right now, letting us know that the Giants have been kind of bad, almost worse than the Browns. And that little stretch of the Browns haven't won anything when you think about the record and games played. So the Giants really have to go on the field and really change that narrative.
Nasty work. Y'all been bad
It
as
is.
the Browns.
It is. Bro, the Browns went 0-16, but think about where the Browns are now. I think the Giants, ever since they won their last Super Bowl ring, have seen the Browns go through a winless season or a one-win season and completely flip to now, once again, I spoke on it earlier, we're facing them in like week 3, and that's a labeled L. Like for us, we're just wondering when is the rebuild going to be rebuilt?
Yeah.
Like when is this rebuild team actually going to be, a competitor? And speaking on where we are this season, heading into the season, this is year 3 under Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. Like once again, time flies and things change quickly. Daniel Jones somehow, some way managed to be on this team. This year tells it all, and it starts with tomorrow. I think Daniel Jones, in order for us to win the game, obviously Daniel Jones is going to have to have a good game. But like you guys, I think you want the Daniel Jones to drop back 30, 40 times in order to try to beat y'all, because who wouldn't? You want to make that guy beat you instead of having, Devin Singletary. I think he's a little underrated. But once again, seeing where this O-line is,
that's you talking about low man,
Motor.
You talking about low man.
Hey, he was cutting up.
I had to tell TP, man. You talking about low man. Oh,
hey, he was cutting up in Houston.
Low, man.
Everyone knows that Damian Pierce, the guy from Florida, he balled out his rookie year, and then he was Devin Singletary's backup.
Yeah.
He almost rushed for 1,000 yards, and he missed like the first 4 games. So I think it's a little underrated. And
he's definitely shifty. Yeah, he's definitely shifty, man. I was a fan of Singletary, man, when he was in Buffalo, man. I think they did him wrong. I think they did him wrong out there, man, because like you said, he was decent. I don't think he's a game changer.
Yeah, no, but he's serviceable, and he'll give you once again. All we need is 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah,
Saquon, you're hoping for an 80-yard touchdown, and then sometimes he'll kind of be juking everywhere. And realistically, I'm a Giants fan. I said I was a Saquon fan. I think the O-line's always been trash for him, and he's been having to juke behind the offensive line. We just need 3 to 4 yards out of Devin Singletary to keep drives going. I think,
and real quick too, Juke. I know we talked about how, as a Vikings fan, and a lot of our community probably would want to see Daniel Jones drop back a lot, but I also wouldn't be opposed. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be opposed to the Giants feeling like they still got Saquon back there, and they think Devin Singletary is, hey, we got faith in Singletary, man. We got rid of Saquon, but we're gonna show you that we just a running team. We know how to use running backs, and they turn around and act like Devin Singletary is Saquon. I wouldn't be opposed to that game plan either. Yeah, I mean, I really wouldn't.
It's a different 2-6 in that backfield.
Oh yeah, for sure. We might see that. We know that. Do they know that?
We might see flashes, and really sometimes even seeing 26 getting the ball from the backfield, it might feel a little weird. But I definitely think if he's getting more than 20 touches in this game, and specifically handoffs, because hopefully, once again, I hope the Giants dial up a couple screen passes, really kind of set Brian Flores back a bit from kind of letting things loose, because Daniel Jones last year, he was getting blown up like off the line, and this guy was throwing it up, So hopefully, I don't want Devin Singletary having more than 20 touches, and I think if he does, we're either winning, or if if not, once again, we're kind of leading on and not trusting our quarterback. Because once again, we spoke on in the beginning, Daniel Jones making 40 M's. If there's anyone to drop 40 times, it's Daniel Jones, not Sam Darnold. You pay him all that money for a reason. He's supposed to be out there, dicing y'all up. And, a couple times he gave y'all the dime. So I hope he brings it out tomorrow. Because if he doesn't, once again, man, New York is the Mecca for a reason. It's the biggest city in the world. And things change quickly. You go down 0-1 to that Vikings team and you get beat by Sam Darnold, which we know what Sam Darnold has went through. it can get loud really quickly. But with Neighbors on the field, with Darius Slayton on the field, I see TP just dropped it in there. With Neighbors, Hyatt, and Wandale is a little underrated, I think, in my opinion. And some people might not even know who he is. I think you'll see a lot more of him tomorrow because if we're trying to get the ball out quickly, he's a little shifty, slot guy that you even had CeeDee Lamb talking about Wandale saying he's an underrated wide receiver, which to me, that shocked me because this is a guy that he's probably 5'9", 5'10". He's not a burner, but he's very.
Is his name Wandale Robinson? Is it Wandale Robinson?
Wandale Robinson.
I know he is.
He's very quick, and he's gonna have to be that quick outlet for Daniel Jones. But that Daniel Jones Neighbors connection has been something that I've been working on all off season, all training camp. Going against a familiar foe for you guys, the Lions, even in the joint practices, he was taking over practices. So hopefully, once again, that's practice. We're heading into a game environment, and when we're in the game, things could be different. But I think Neighbors is gonna be. He has to be an X factor in this game. And for a rookie, it's tough to say. With Stephon Gilmore on one side and your DBs, it's a lot of pressure. But hey, they unretired number 1 for this man. I don't know where else you have to put that for pressure. And he wanted it. So
he better ball out, man. He better ball out. He ain't gonna ball out tomorrow, not on us, but he might have a good season. Just not tomorrow. You feel me? Like,
listen, with being a rookie, we have those expectations, but does Brian Flores say we need to double cover this guy? I'm pretty sure no. I'm pretty sure they don't think so.
No,
and
he won't.
And so who knows? We might have our next OBJ.
But like we didn't when Justin Jefferson was a rookie. We didn't start him the first 3 games. We put him in. He got in on the 3rd game against the Tennessee Titans, and that's where he got that famous touchdown where he like juked 2 defenders and kind of backtracked into the end zone. That was the whole start of the Justin Jefferson era right there. So like again, I said this before. Is there a possibility that Neighbors comes out and just looks really good? Because wide receivers, man, they come right out the draft balling, bro. Like for real. Like if you're good, you're just good, bro. It's kind of just like edge rushers, man. The only position is offensive linemen and damn quarterbacks, bro. That really like you might be good, but it's gonna take you a couple years, bro, to develop in the NFL. But when you're talking about and DB, I feel like DBs too. But like when it comes to like wide receivers and running backs and goddamn, even linebackers, in my opinion, man, like I feel like those guys, bro, if they're in college and they're good and they're like dominating in college, bro, 9 times out of 10 when they get in the NFL, as long as they're in the right situation, bro, they're gonna flourish. So like again, I think it's gonna be based on scheme for you guys with Neighbors. It's gonna be based on Daniel Jones having time to find him, being able to find him open and get used to his timing of his route running and stuff. It might take a little time, but there's a strong possibility he can really show Giants Nation that he could be something decent right out the gate tomorrow. You feel me? Like, I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, but there is a possibility. There's a possibility.
And he kind of, as much as there's pressure built, he kind of has grace because everyone's saying, who's his quarterback? The biggest thing when we draft him Neighbors, they're saying who's gonna throw him the ball. And I think, when you get a guy, like when he's a guy, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is, in my opinion. So you've seen D-Hop be a guy for years, and he's had a quarterback carousel for a while. And putting Neighbors next to D-Hop already is kind of crazy. But once again, when you're that dude, it doesn't matter who you're playing with. Tomorrow, Justin Jefferson is playing with Sam Darnold, and guess what? You know what the expectations are for him. You know what you expect out of Justin Jefferson. And it doesn't matter who his quarterback is. So hopefully Neighbors can build up to that, and maybe we see a little sneak peek of that tomorrow. Two-Tone let us know about Saquon. He had 3 touchdowns last night. Man, listen. Can I say something? I have Saquon Barkley on one of my fantasy teams. And guess what? I don't think that makes me any less of a fan. If Saquon was going to do anything, if he didn't do anything for us to win a chip, he going to win me some bread. That's all I know. He's going to let me win one of these leagues. So, he can do whatever he wants, just not against us. That's how I look at it's a different situation overall as well. The Eagles are a ready team compared to, what he's had over here in New York.
And Two-Tone asked if I'm going live. I am going live tomorrow. Two-Tone, man, I'm doing a pregame though. I'm doing a pregame and then a postgame with the fellas, man. You know what I'm saying, after the game. So for sure.
Dope. TP let us know, neighbor Slayton, Wandale Hyatt. After Singletary gets your D-line tired, you are going to hear those names a lot. And listen, that just might be the storyline for tomorrow. That just might be. We both have quarterback worries, 100%.
Yeah.
And if I had to pick my money, I got to roll with my guy. You know, that's what I have to pick. Neighbor's going to test those old-ass legs on Gilmore. Listen, we really don't know what we expect. Vets, when they get to a certain status in this league, I think Gilmore hold it out for a while because he's not trying to go through training camp. He's not trying to go through preseason games. He's a plug-in guy, you know what I'm saying? So we don't know what we're expecting out of Gilmore because we haven't seen him on the field since last year, but, you know, he going to get – we'll see if we can test him. I really hope we do, but we'll see if we can test him. 59 years of loving this team. So excited about the season started. Hey, shout out to the fandom, man. Mary, shout out to you. I got a lot of people on my side of town as well that big Giants fans for a very long time. And every year, you know, we do this every year for a reason, right? Two-Tone let us know, what about number 3, Addison? I think for you guys, right? Once again, we know what Jefferson's going to do. We know he's going to be able to take advantage because the deep defensive back room for us is what's, I feel like, the biggest worry. Deontay Banks should be lined up with Jefferson every play, but I expect the safety shaded over him and bracket him all game. I don't care what else happens. Make sure you go ahead and cover Justin Jefferson. But Addison, is KJ Osborne still over there for you guys, or you signed somewhere else?
No, KJ Osborne's a Patriot.
Oh, shoot. Wow.
Yeah, he's on the Patriots. Yeah.
Well, I know he was a familiar name for a little while. Those are the guys that are going to have to step up.
Upgraded. We definitely upgraded, though, from KJ Osborne. When you're talking about Jalen Naylor, and you're talking about it really KJ Osborne, I guess, would be Jalen Naylor or Tristan Jackson really replaced him. KJ was all right, man. He was definitely a 3. You know what I mean? He was a 3 for sure. I don't think he was anything different than that. But again, man, I think we upgrade at the wide receiver position this year, man. Our talent's a lot better this year, like a lot better. And that's just excluding Justin Jefferson as being the best in the NFL, bro. Like I think we got a lot better. Jordan Addison, you know, 1,000-yard receiver last year. What, 7, 8 touchdowns. Like, dog is he like that too, man. You know what I mean? He like that too. That's crazy, bro. Like we really have a 1A and 1B for real, like straight up. Like that's what it's really hitting for. That's the truth. You know what I mean? That's the real truth.
Now I wanted, obviously once again, being hooked on to our teams, I wanted Addison coming out of the draft. I made a whole video saying this guy's gonna be a New York Giant. He didn't end up sliding to us. You guys scooped him up before that happened, and I was upset. My brother's a Vikings fan, and I told him, I said, I'm upset about that pick because I really wanted him to slide down there because he was a dog out there at USC. He was a dog out there at USC, and I believe he was at Pitt before that.
Yeah, Pitt. Yep. He was at Pitt, and then he was a dog last year for the Vikings. Yeah. Like, go watch his highlight. Go watch his highlights from last year, bro. This dude is he like that, man. He's a little smaller, but he played like a big receiver. That's what's crazy about him is you would think he would be like a little slot receiver type guy. That's how he's built. But no, he plays like Megatron, dog. Like he's one of them small guys that just plays big. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to him, man. Stronger than he looks. You feel me? Like you would think, that's a low man. We gonna jam him at the line. Nah, bro, really be playing like a big dude, man. That's what I like about him too, man. He just got heart, you know. But I'm excited to see what he does in year 2. I think it could be a little more difficult for him. He actually did pretty decent being the circumstances too last year, bro, because you think about it. You know what we went through last year, losing Kirk Cousins. Like if Kirk Cousins would have stayed healthy the entire year, bro, Jordan Addison might have had like 1,400 yards, bro. Like realistically, like he probably would have had like 1,400 yards his rookie season. Probably would have won. Probably would have been number 2 in rookie of the year because obviously that's a quarterback award, just like the MVP is a quarterback award. But I mean, shit, he would have been there in the conversation because that just is what it is. Sometimes you get other positions to get rookie of the year, but most of the time it's a quarterback award, man. They can get out of it. I think the NFL, that real quick on a different note, I think the NFL needs to come out with awards. Like there needs to be an MVP where it's just like, all right, we know that's going to be a quarterback, but then they need to do another award that's just like, best player or something. You know what I'm saying? Like for just best player or some shit. I don't know. Make up something to give other positions the opportunity to win the award too, man, because you know, you can't, it's unfair that only quarterbacks win most of the time, 99% of the time. You know, there's been a couple outliers, but it's just, it isn't fair in my opinion.
They should. I think they should. I mean, even thinking about every other MVP. I mean, you haven't seen a running back win it since Adrian Peterson won it for the Vikings.
Oh, baby.
Listen, if there's anything I can say, you know, once again, I always been connected with the Vikings somehow, some way. Adrian Peterson was I looked up to him growing up. He was best running back I ever seen personally. And that's with Saquon Barkley. I don't care what nobody says. Adrian Peterson that year coming off of an ACL tear, because that's what it was. Coming off of an ACL tear, going out rushing for over 2,000 yards in the modern day. Bro, Adrian Peterson was different, bro.
Yeah, he was different.
He was different.
He was different.
I want to touch on A Breezy real quick. He said, "What's good, Rap? What's up, Juke? Appreciate you stepping in." Elijah saying, "I avoided Saquon in fantasy based off principles." Hey, listen, everything's all right with me as long as he doesn't do it to us. That's all I care. Let him know, hey, Mary, I'm good.
Hey, boy, I see a picture of Sam Darnold on this Twitter, boy. He looking good, boy, in that purple, boy. Oh, hey, man. My boy look like he ready to, hey. Okay, y'all. Hey, don't sleep now. Hey, listen, my boy look like he finna throw a couple touchdowns on y'all, man. Facts. Shout out my boy Eli Corbett though, man. He be coming up with he's one of a guy. He's a guy on the Vikings content creation side where he does like every week he'll do like pictures. Like he pretty much has Sam Darnold with a blue sky, like and then on top of New York City, like where it's fire. His pictures are like NFL quality, bro. Like the NFL would sign him to do like flyers and shit. Like that's how good they are. But he got him looking fire right now, boy.
I could, hey, bro. I could definitely see Sam throwing a couple touchdowns the other way, 100%. I could.
What do you mean the other way? You mean like pick sixes?
You know what I mean the other way.
You like pick sixes?
You know what I mean the other way. Hey, if you know one thing, if you don't know, Sam Darnold's first touchdown pass was a pick six.
Oh yeah, no. I tell Vikings fans all the time, listen, for every like based off of evidence, because I'm very evidence based when I try to talk about our players, and like for every touchdown Sam Darnold throws, he's going to throw a pick and a half. So just let that sink in. Like so, for every time he throws a touchdown tomorrow, you can expect the next one to be an interception. Like that is a fact. Like I mean, that's just based off of the evidence, bro. That's just the type of quarterback that we have, that we know we have, based off of 7 years of football. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. And that's why I'm like, you know, it's hard for me to just sit back and say, well, now he's going to be a different guy. I don't know, man. I think he could be a little better, but do I believe that he's going to be, you know, I mean, all of a sudden Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Brock Purdy, even like to be more realistic? Like, no, I don't. I think he's going to be Sam Darnold. He might be a little better Sam Darnold, but he's still going to be Sam Darnold, bro. Like facts. Like, and I think that's reality. And that's why I do content though, because I like to speak the facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, the fan in me is going to get hyped. I am going to ride for my team and talk smack to other fan bases and stuff when we're playing them. But deep down inside, I have to be truthful to my community and let my community know, bro. I have to do them that justice. Like, listen, this guy is this guy. Like, this is what we've seen. Like, let's just pump it real quick. Let him show us that he's different. But let's not just jump on he's going to be the next coming of the best Vikings quarterback in history just because he was the number 3 pick in the draft. Because, again, people make mistakes all the time. You know what I'm saying? Just like y'all, as a diehard Giants fan, do you believe Daniel Jones is a number 5 pick or number 6? What was he, number 6 or 5?
Number 6.
Number 6. Do you believe he was a number 6 pick, bro? Like you could have got Daniel Jones in the 3rd round. Like in reality, you could have that year. Nobody was going after Daniel Jones coming out of Duke that year, bruh. Yeah, nobody.
Some people think he would have got taken by other people. Listen, all I know is that, you know, they didn't get the chance to. I mean,
they didn't get the chance to it. And nobody was going to get him, man. Y'all could have definitely got him. Y'all could have got him in the 3rd round, man. He's a 3rd round quarterback, man. Let's keep it honest.
Yeah. And all I know is either way, if we took him and would have been starting, the expectations would have been thrown up there and we would have been let down just as much. I really do believe that. Whether it's the 6th pick, definitely scrutinized him a bit because he's a 6th pick, and you see the draft reaction.
You know why you do know why he got drafted that high, right? For New York, right?
Specifically, we know he was coached by the Eli Manning coaches.
Yeah.
Then,
that's why.
And we all know that Eli Manning was still around. I think
that's it.
Personally, I love Eli. Eli, obviously, I think he's the best quarterback in Giants history, but they held on to him way too long.
That is a prime example. Like Daniel Jones is the prime example of it's not what you know, it's who you know. You feel me? Like fact, bro. Like Daniel Jones is the prime example of that. Like for sure, bro. It's like, oh, well, you know, you trained with so and so, and hey, that's your boy. Oh, that's your boy. You like him? You show he good? You for real? All right, man. We're gonna take a chance on him then. Like it's that is what happened with you guys with getting Daniel Jones at number 6, and it's sad to be honest with you because, I mean, like again, now that we have evidence on Daniel Jones, right? Like we can keep it honest. You know, this ain't the dish your guys' quarterback. It's just what it is. Like he's not a first-round quarterback, bro. Like he's really not, bro. I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but you know, the years are starting to get longer now. So we can't keep holding on to, well, this year and maybe another year, like just like our quarterback, Sam Darnold. It's like, bro, it's been 7 years, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he damn near about to retire, bro. Like for real. Like,
look around the league. I mean, Justin Fields, that got pulled quickly. Sam Darnold's an example that got pulled quickly. But here we are in year 6. And regardless, hey, Daniel Jones is winning in life. In life, he's winning. He got paid a bag, and he's playing for the New York Giants. Like, he's winning in life.
Eli, hold on. Elijah said low-key Jones was the second best QB in his draft class. Who else got drafted that year? Because I can't remember.
He was not even low-key, high-key the second best. You got Kyler Murray was taken first.
So all right, so he was the best. He's the best.
RIP Dwayne Haskins, he was taken, and I wanted
yeah.
I wanted Dwayne Haskins bad in that year.
RIP to him, yeah.
Drew Lock, his counterpart, was taken later in that draft. And those are mainly the big names that were in that draft class. Josh Rosen was the year prior. That was with Sam Darnold.
Okay. Well. So that class, so him saying that he's the second best QB in that draft is not saying a lot, but it's still okay. I get it. I get what you're saying, Elijah, but you're not saying a lot.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The Giants waited so long to get someone else instead of Eli that they settled for that class.
Yeah,
they had to pick one, so they went out and picked one at 6, and that's where we are today because they held on to Eli for so long, didn't want to find another player. Because you think about it, and this is not to harp on history too much, but Eli Manning was in his last years, and they said, let's get Saquon Barkley. Let's add Saquon Barkley to ease up Eli Manning. No, Eli Manning, it should have been a quarterback with that pick. That's what it should have been.
Were you an Eli Manning guy? You think Eli Manning Hall of Fame?
Oh, he's most definitely. Let me read these chats.
Like, is he hold on. Is he Hall of Fame? Now, hold up real quick. Is he Hall of Fame because he won a Super Bowl, or do you think he plays like a Hall of Fame quarterback? See, because there's some Giants fans out there, man, you know, that's a little gray area. It's like, okay, I get he won the Super Bowl. You feel me? I get it. He has a Super Bowl, 2 of them, right? He has 2, right?
Make sure you say 2.
Okay, yeah. So he has 2.
Yep.
So you know what I mean? It's like I get it, but like if you just eliminate all of the team and just look at Eli and how he played the game of football, do you believe he is a Hall of Fame quarterback?
First ballot. Not even a question. Not even a question. Let me catch up in here real quick. Hell yeah, Vikings football is back. Yeah, football's back in general. Love to see it. Mary gonna be up early. Shout out to you, TP. We will be able to see what they can do next week. This week won't see a lot of their work. Y'all quarterback won't have enough time to get them the ball. Hey, shout out to you, TP. Two-tone can't wait. Elijah says need college-like awards. I agree. They need to give accolades to somebody else, you know. Favorite Viking player ever, that's AP, my bad, AP. Remind him of JJ getting robbed the offensive rookie of the year. I mean, that says it all right there. Justin Jefferson thinking that he didn't get rookie of the year was crazy.
Yeah.
Who won it that year instead of Justin Jefferson?
Offensive rookie of the year was a quarterback for sure. I think it was Justin Herbert. Was Justin Herbert in that same?
Might have been.
I think it was Justin Herbert. I believe it was Justin Herbert.
Might have been. Juke KOC is about to make a big difference with Sam Darnold. We're about to see a more composed quarterback. I think. Listen, I'm with the way games start, it's all scripted, right? I think Kevin O'Connell, if they get the ball first, they're gonna have a really good drive that first drive because everything's scripted up until that point. Problem is when it's not scripted and you got to make a play yourself. That's where we're gonna see, if he's gonna fall into his bad habits or not. That's what we're gonna see. Jones is the second best quarterback in class. Kyler, Haskins, Drew Lock, 100%. Hey, Two Tone said it best. Hit the like button, man.
Yeah, hit the like button,
man. If
sure.
you're in the building, hit the like button. Once again, if you're on my channel and you don't know who Vocal Vike is, go sub up real quick. Shout out to my guy, Mary Fist, leaving. Thank you for the great football conversation.
Shout out Queen Mary, man.
Viking win 27-17. We're gonna touch on our score predictions in a little bit.
Let's go.
A Breezy says Eli Manning's like Joe.
Mary no ball, man. Mary no ball. I'm telling
That's
you.
dope. That's dope. Eli Manning's like Joe Flacco. Man, hold on. I'm about to go off. Great in the playoffs, but maybe not in the regular season. Listen, nothing against you, A Breezy. Nothing against you. I think what you have to look at, right? Because, of course, Eli Manning's played for over 15 years. And, yes, he's won the Super Bowl in 2 of them. Only 2 out of the 15. How many has done what he's done? There's a small group of quarterbacks that's been Super Bowl MVPs in multiple Super Bowls. And when you also look at what Eli did in those playoff runs, in those Super Bowl runs, that's why he's a Hall of Famer off rip. Now, even when you go to all-time stats, he is top 10 in passing yards. He was top 10 in touchdowns. I don't know, as we're fading out with, Tom Brady and all those players fading out, I don't know where he stands in terms of those. But when he retired, top 10 in completions, passing yards, touchdowns, interceptions. He did throw a lot of interceptions. He did. I believe the most craziest stat, I think even for a win-loss standpoint, he won his last game that he started, but he finished his career as 500, as in if he played 200 games, he won 100 and lost 100. And I feel like for other people, that sums up Eli Manning in general, a 500 quarterback. But we know Eli Manning, when he turned it on in the playoffs, he was a different QB. When you look at how he played against the 49ers in one of those Super Bowl runs, he took down Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers when they were both top-seeded teams in their home turf. Eli Manning had crazy runs, and you don't see quarterbacks do that nowadays. So Eli Manning, in my opinion, when you look at it for longevity stats-wise and we look at it from winning Super Bowls, like I said, he's in a small group with, I believe, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes joined that crew now. Having multiple Super Bowl MVPs and also multiple Super Bowls, he has to be a Hall of Famer. A lot of people compare him to, and his counterpart in the same draft class, Phillip Rivers. They feel like Phillip Rivers was a better quarterback than Eli Manning. The proof is in the pudding, like you said earlier. Phillip Rivers never got close like Eli Manning has ever had, So as much as, history, I feel like the way Eli Manning
took down Brady twice too. So
took down Brady. Yeah. He got Brady twice. I think history, like the way it
ended. You might have sold me, man. Maybe it took a real Giants fan to sell me, man. Hey, look, ain't no skin off my back if Eli makes it. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And I can see why certain people have their takes on it. But like I said, I think the way it ended, when it's all said and done, Eli Manning is one of the
ended ugly. It ended ugly.
It ended ugly, but he took down Tom Brady twice, and he can hold on to that forever. And when you think about that undefeated Patriots team that beat the Giants in the regular season, and got beat by them in the Super Bowl, that no one's gonna take that away from him. So
okay.
We find out this year though. He's up for ballot this year, so we find out this year, which is crazy to think that he is.
We're gonna find out if Daniel Jones gonna be in the Hall of Fame ballot, man. You know what I mean? It's on Daniel Jones this year. You know what I'm saying? It's on Daniel Jones.
Us real Giants fans or certain Giants fans, we have a banner held up in the stadium for that 2022 playoff win.
I'm telling you, because win.
But we have
y'all holding that thing, man. Every Giants podcast I've been on this week, it's only been 2, but still, hey,
listen,
look here, that 2022 season, boy, y'all holding on to that, man. Y'all gotta let that go, man. Yeah,
if he played the Vikings every day, he'll probably be a Hall of Famer too. I'm not gonna.
Hey, because you know what's crazy? Vikings fans are very. They actually have a case like that when I would talk about Kirk Cousins and how, I don't believe Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback and There's things about him. I just don't think he's a Super Bowl winning caliber type quarterback, and they would hold on to 2019. Well, what about 2019 when he won a playoff game in overtime?
Yeah.
Took him everything in him. Now, he did make a hell of a throw to Adam Thielen. I got to give him that. That was a hell of that. Probably one of his better throws in his career. But again, you talking about 2019. I'm not trying to hear that. And I am a Vikings fan. And I used to be, I'm mad trying to hear that. I'm not holding on to that. I moved on from that. After 2020, it was a wrap. Like, it's like, nah, bruh, we need to worry about today. You know what I mean? We were in about 2019 and we still did nothing. You know what I mean? We got bounced right after that. So it makes no sense.
That Kyle Rudolph touchdown's the single reason why Daniel Jones had Kyle Rudolph as his weapon. He was never Kyle Rudolph that he was in my
he only played good in Vikings, man. You know what I mean? He's a Viking. He's a Viking still to this day. He does a lot for the community still in Minnesota now. So him and his wife, man, with the Children's Hospital, man. That's my wife's favorite player, Kyle Rudolph, man. So shout out Kyle Rudolph, man. He's just a Viking at heart, man. I think that separation, the vibe just wasn't there, man. He's one of those players. It's kind of like we have another player like that in Harrison Smith. Like when there was talks about maybe trading Harrison Smith, man, it just wouldn't have worked, bro. Like
he was a cut candidate.
Like some players are just some players, like when they get drafted by a team and they're with a team for that long, it just doesn't work, bro. Like they gotta just stay there, retire there, man. You know, it just is what it is. And Kyle Rudolph was one of those guys. Like when he went to the Giants, I rooted for him, but I'm like, man, he just doesn't look the same out there, man. He got to stay in purple, bro. He a Viking. He's just a Viking, bro. Adam Thielen, I feel like that, obviously, but
out there in Carolina,
believe it or not, man, he did pretty decent though. I mean, he was their number one receiver, shit over 1,000 yards, man. That's why I wanted to keep the boy. Like, dog, like y'all making it seem like Adam Thielen washed up. Y'all worried about age. Why are you worrying about age? Let's worry about what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's crazy. Like, motherfucker have 1,500 receiving yards and 18 touchdowns, but he's 36, so we need to trade. No, you know what I'm saying? No, that ain't how I like to operate, man. I'm going off production. Like I ain't going off age. I can care less how old you are. Shit, if you 45 and you still can play, shit, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if people felt like that about Tom Brady. Oh nah, he's like, imagine if the Bucks felt like that. We could bring Tom Brady in, but he's 40. You know what I'm saying?
The Patriots saw that because they felt that way. I don't think fans did. Bill Belichick, that was crazy.
Like, now, if you can see the age, you can see the age. You feel me?
I live in Central Florida, so when he came down to Tampa, you know, a lot of people were like, "Man, this guy's gonna win a Super Bowl," and I was like, "You guys are crazy to go one in the NFL. You don't see it to switch teams, and in the first year go out and get a ring." I couldn't say anything else. Couldn't say anything else. I always said I thank Tom Brady for giving me the 2 Super Bowl rings I have because I mean he's partially of the reason why that the Giants have 2 rings because that defense had him on lock. But the moment he won that chip in Tampa in the first year, with obviously that whole, let alone his personal life, like everything that was going on in his personal life, he still went out and won. He's a GOAT, man. He's a GOAT until Mahomes passed him, which he just might. But he's the GOAT until further notice. There's no debating that 100%.
Yeah, and Mahomes will pass him. Yeah, like I don't know if Mahomes is gonna win as many rings, but I will say that, like, numbers wise, he's gonna pass him up. He's gonna pass him up by a lot too. I feel like real quick too. He's gonna pass him up really quick. It's gonna happen sooner than later, bro. Like Mahomes is still super young. I mean, he already has what 3? Mahomes has 3 already. I think he has. Oh, he has 2. Yeah, back to back. So they went back to back.
Does he have 3 chips?
I think he has 3, bro. I think he has 3 already. Yeah, he has 3. Because they won, and then they did, and then they lost, and then now they won 2 back to back. Like in the past, like so they've won 3 in the last 5 years, I believe. 3 in the last 4 years, or whatever.
A Breezy said it. He beat San Fran twice, and then he beat the Eagles. So shout out to you, A Breezy.
Yeah, so shout out Mahomes, man. I think so. It's possible he might even get 7. You feel me? Like, I mean, it's definitely possible, bro. I ain't gonna lie, especially if Andy Reid can hang on. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely not easy though. But
not easy, but it's possible.
We're gonna see, bro. So we made it here, man. You know, the game's tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
Let's go over our score predictions, man.
Yeah, let's
Everyone
get
in the
our score
chat.
predictions, man.
Everyone
Let's
in
get
the
them
chat,
in.
go ahead and drop your score prediction for tomorrow, 1
Yeah,
p.m. Eastern time in New York.
let's go.
Giants taking on the Vikings. Go ahead and drop
Mhm.
your score predictions down. And hey, Rap Man, any last thoughts on this game in general? And go ahead and let us know your score prediction, man.
Yeah, man. So let's do this. Let's do a score prediction, and then let's just for fun. Let's pick a player, like your X factor player, and then the stats that the player will have. And the chat can and then the chat can definitely join in on this too, man, because it's fun to do that, to try to really envision which player you think's going to do what, and kind of throw that out there. So for example, for me, this is for me. I think, first of all, Aaron Jones is my X factor. I think we're going to win the game 24 to 17. I think it's going to be 24-17 Vikings. I think Aaron Jones is going to have 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. I give him 101 because I want him to break the century mark again. Like I spoke on earlier in the show, I want that trend to keep going as far as the century mark. So I just went 101, 2 tutties, man. I think that we're gonna lean into the running game. Let me not say that's what I think. That's what I want as a Vikings fan. But part of me, my coach, I'm gonna have to see how tomorrow plays, because he's very big on throwing the ball a bunch. But again, hopefully he leans into the run like I can envision. I think that would benefit the Minnesota Vikings. Although your guys' strong point is your defensive line, I still think we can execute the run better than the pass, in my opinion. And that's saying something when you're talking about us having the best wide receiver in the NFL. I'm just saying though, like, football needs to be won a certain way when your team's structured a certain way, man. And yes, you might have Justin Jefferson, but that don't mean you can just sit back and try to keep forcing him to rock, because that's going to turn ugly, especially when you're talking about a quarterback like Sam Darnold. So again, 101 yards, Aaron Jones, 2 touchdowns, 24-17. Vikings walk out of there with the skull, baby. Let's go.
Listen. It's very ironic because I feel like the exact opposite just for us. My score prediction, I posted it in my preview video. I had it in my chat yesterday. 24-17 Giants. Literally 24-17 Giants. And for me, when I think about the X factor, I know we're talking about one player specifically. For me, I just think about the other guys. And when I say the other guys, I'm talking about Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Jalen Hyatt. Now, Neighbors, the expectations are there, and he is a rookie. I can go out and say that, Malik Neighbors is the X factor, and he's going to have to be that number 1 guy for Daniel Jones. But like you said, if they're force-feeding him the ball and things just aren't turning out our way, it could get ugly, because Daniel Jones and Malik Neighbors, they had that connection. And you can see sometimes Daniel Jones, the sad part about him is that a lot of his throws are premeditated, and that could be, an issue, especially considering when guys know where you're going with the ball. So I think about Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, and think about Jalen Hyatt. They're going to have to step up. Stephon Gilmore probably is going to take the number 1 guy, whoever they believe that is, to be. But the other guys are really going to have to win their matchups, whether it be with Byron Murphy or any of the other DBs you have on the other side. They're going to have to win their matchups. So for me, I think, looking at it from a stats perspective, if I can get a touchdown out of one of those guys, I think we'll be sitting pretty well. Because I think a Singletary tud is definitely stapled in there.
Do we know what the point spread is on our game? I know I'm saying 24-17. Wait, I think it's.
I do not know what the spread is.
Yeah, the under over, the over under. I don't
total
know.
points.
Does somebody know what the over under is on the game tomorrow, man? Real quick in the chat, man. Who knows that, man? Who's the betting guys in the chat, man?
Any betting dudes, let us know.
It gotta be. I think it has to be like 41 or something. I think it's up at like 41. I know I checked like a week ago and it was around like the 40s, I believe.
Yeah,
no, my bad. I didn't mean point spread.
No,
I meant the over under. That's what I meant.
Gotcha.
Like,
yeah, and I think nowadays when you think about 41 points, that's light compared to
that's light work. Yeah, that's light
work. This offense is obviously on both sides. Really, the question mark. The defense might be a little stout for each other. So that's why I think 24-17, except for G-Men, and the other guys are gonna have to get it done, man. I think about, once again, Neighbors might be force fed or he might be taken away. It's gonna be the other guys really overcoming that. So we'll see what happens. Definitely on there. But I got 24-17 Giants.
24-17, man. Let's go, man. Hey, 24-17. That's a good game, man. It's funny. A lot of the Vikings community, that I've been coming across has been really talking like it's going to be 13-16, like just a nasty game. You know what I mean? Like just nasty, man. And that's fine with me, honestly. Like I don't mind grimy games. Like, yes, they're not as fun for the fan that wants to just see high score, that watches football just so they can get excited. But as a fan, though, like, I mean, regardless, right? Like if your team's scoring, like say the game's 50-51, okay, the offenses are looking crazy, or you look at it like, oh, the defenses are shit. But if the game, either way, you can find something to be happy about and talk about as a fan like me and you. And even if it's a 10-6 game, it's like, okay, our defense, hey, this defense can pull us to the playoff. Like, you know what I mean? Like you find the good in all of it. So again, man, I don't mind a grimy game, even if it does turn into a game where it's 11-12. You feel me? I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? Where a safety or two is included. You know, let's get it.
I agree 100%, man. It really could go either way.
I love watching football, man.
100%. A Breezy, 2017 Vikings. We got John, 24-17 Vikings. Omega, appreciate you for pulling up, man. I know you're working.
Yeah, man. Shout out Omega, man.
Giants. All day at 1916 OT. I think that's that ugly game you were just talking about, man.
Let's go. A game like that. Shout out Ed.
A whole lot of field goals, but like I said,
a whole lot of interceptions and all type of it's nasty out there. You know what I mean? Daniel Jones versus Sam Darnold, man, the shoot off.
Listen, I want a lot of bend, but don't break from my defense personally, man. So I think I can see a lot of field goals in this game for sure. Dylan, 31-17, 2 defensive touchdowns, like Pace said, not even a matchup.
Let's go. Dylan, talk crazy.
Hey, just know I got that clip to my soundboard already. I'm just
saying.
Hey,
you got on the soundboard, innit? Like, hey, boy, we keeping receipts. We keeping receipts, man.
Anthony, appreciate you for pulling up. He says, let's go, Juke. Looking forward to your post-game vids this year. Come on, G-Man. You already know. We're back. We're back 100%.
Let's go,
Dallas Turner's my X factor. Hey, that was something I didn't get to harp on. Dallas Turner, I think, was a great pick, man. When I saw that
Dallas
go down,
Turner, man, great pick. You know,
y'all killed it in the draft, man.
This draft was legit, man. Unfortunately, with the JJ McCarthy, man, because I would have felt a lot better. Like this conversation would have been a lot different if JJ McCarthy was healthy. We would have. I just know in the other 2 preseason games, he would have showed the Vikings fans that he is the guy. I just knew that. I mean, if you didn't know, Juke, man, I'm a Michigan fan. So like that scenario was the best scenario that could have happened for a Viking fan and me, because my college team quarterback that I felt like was the best quarterback in the draft got drafted by my NFL team, bro, that I do podcasting on, bro. Like it just doesn't, like you can't write that shit better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't, bro. So like when he got injured, man, that shit ripped my heart out my chest, bro. Like, because the conversation would have been a lot different. I actually feel like he might have even been going into this week right here starting, bro, if he would have been able to play the last 2 preseason games. But again, I would have been a lot more comfortable just knowing like, okay, if Sam Darnold's is straight, because we're falling back on something better, in my opinion. Let's let the coach be the coach and put the veteran out there and give him another shot. That's cool. Do what you got to do. Do the politically correct thing. But the reality is we have a guy that's better than his ass sitting right behind him. So when you're ready to really play, let me know. You feel me? Like, let me know so I can tap in. But again, this year, now that we don't have that, we got to stand behind Sam Darnold and just kind of hope that he does have a resurgence, man. But again, it's still up in the air for me, man. I'm not on that bandwagon. Tomorrow's the beginning of the journey, man. I'm going to support my team like I always do. But again, I'm not going to be surprised if I have to get on here after the post game and dog walk Sam Darnold, bro. I'm not going to be surprised about it. You know what I mean? I'm really not.
Yeah. For a team perspective, though, I really do believe, and specifically for JJ, I think it's a blessing in disguise that he got hurt, right? Because the biggest thing with JJ McCarthy was that he's young. People like me, I thought he would have stayed back another year. He would have been a top quarterback pick next year. So for me, one, he went out looking like he did in that preseason game, which obviously we've seen the long touchdowns. JJ McCarthy looked good in that preseason game. And now there's a lot of pressure taken off of him that, he's going to have a year to sit behind and he's still there mentally. He's not on the field getting his game reps, but he's there learning the offensive system more, seeing what Sam Darnold's doing. Hey, if Sam Darnold goes out and he plays bad, at least
Yeah.
he learns what he's not supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When he's in there. So I think it took a lot of pressure off of him. And regardless, a lot of people wanted to see JJ McCarthy sitting behind a quarterback for a little while. So just from a perspective, definitely, I think that's what you guys like could go for.
Well, my thing with me knowing JJ McCarthy, man, my thing with JJ McCarthy is mentally, I don't think he. I mean, obviously, you could always use mental reps, and there's always room for improvement. But I think mentally is what makes him the best quarterback that was in this draft, is because his mental is that strong. Being how young he is, I just think mentally he's prepared. And this game is 90% mental when it comes to the quarterback position. We talked about that earlier, and that's why I felt like he's the best, man, because. Again, that's why it's like for me, yes, will he benefit sitting the whole year? I guess me as a fan of his and just knowing him like I know him, man, as far as being a fan of him and even watching him in college, I think reps would have been better for him playing in the NFL, just more getting up to the speed and stuff. Because mentally, I think he was ready. You know what I mean? Off the rip, like he's ready now, like mentally. You know what I'm saying? I was more worried about speed, kind of like that interception he threw in the preseason game. Timing, not understanding that. Listen, in college, yeah, you can throw that pass, bro. You're probably going to complete that. But in NFL, no, those guys are about a step and a half faster, bro. Like those underneath shits like that, bro. No, you got to make sure you learn from that. And he did. He did. He bounced right back. You know, again, mentally, after the interception, came out, forgot about it, threw 2 bombs of touchdowns, and threw a bunch of nice throws outside the numbers, too, even before those touchdowns. So, man, like, that's how you bounce back. That's how you show your quarterback mentally is strong. Because a lot of those rookies, they throw one pick like that, man, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? It's over with. They crumble. So, but it's all good though, man. We have no choice now. We gotta wait till next year to see him. So it's cool. We know who our coach already said it. You know, hey, I can go to sleep at night. Our coach KOC verbatim. I can go to bed tonight and sleep like a baby, knowing that we have our franchise quarterback in the building. So we'll leave it at that.
That's dope. That's dope to hear because hasn't played a game yet. But once again, the optimism, love to see it. And at least you guys are behind it and the fans are already in love with him. So shout out to that. And I don't mean to tease you too much. I'm not a big college football fan, but I think Michigan needed JJ McCarthy back because after what happened today, man.
You saw that, right? That let people know because people were talking about JJ McCarthy. Oh, he was a product of the day. Oh, running this, that. No, today showed you, bruh. Today showed you if JJ McCarthy was on Michigan, even today with the coach they had, that game would have not looked like that, bro. I can promise you that. I can guarantee you that it wouldn't have looked like that. Now, our defense looked bad. But you know, speaking of it, it's perfect we're talking about Michigan because you know, you guys kind of copied us, bro. Like, you know, like I know that's my college team, but y'all NFL jerseys y'all rocking tomorrow. It's gonna be bittersweet, you know, because you know, y'all got the Michigan shit going on with the helmets and all. I'm like, okay, I see you, you know. So, you know, listen, it might be a little spot in my heart tomorrow for y'all when we stomping it, you know, stomp down on y'all tomorrow, man.
I don't like the pants. We talked about it, but the helmets I think is super tough. And historically, like the Giants has been this historic team that, you know, you don't want to change things. It's almost like the Yankees. I'm a Yankees fan as well.
Yeah, I'm a Yankees fan.
Short hair. They never venture out and do different things. So I'm glad they're doing something a little different, even though it's retro theme, but the helmets kind of look crazy. I mean, shoot, even having Hard Knocks in the front office, that's different for us. We were never featured on Hard Knocks like to this day. So it's good to see them venture out a bit. You know what I'm saying? Anthony saying, I want to see Theo Johnson get some action in his first pro game. Theo Johnson as well. I'm just not going to put it out there for him, but Theo Johnson, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He was at Penn State last year. He has the physical tools. Man ran a 4.4, 6.6. He just needs to catch the ball. That's one of his worst things. And as a blocker, he's not that good. But you might see Theo Johnson a lot tomorrow because
is he a receiver? He's a receiver.
Tight end.
Okay.
Yeah, tight end 6'6", runs a 4.4. We scooped him up in the 4th round, and they loved him. They've been utilizing him a lot, so hopefully we see him a little bit tomorrow. Sam Darnold, 180 to 200 passing yards, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. That sounds like a
sounds like Sam Darnold. Sounds like Sam Darnold. I could see that.
We don't know what we have in Neighbors yet, and the defense will scheme around Neighbors. If they scheme around Neighbors off rip without seeing anything, I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're paying too much attention to him like that yet.
I think we'll scheme around Daniel Jones respectfully, though. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, bro. We'll scheme around Daniel Jones. I mean, he's considered the veteran. He's the quarterback, you know, and he's already has film. We have film of him playing us as Vikings, like some of the personnel. Although it's a different defensive coordinator, they're still going to look at the personnel he did it against, and a lot of those guys are still on the roster, bro. That's going to be playing tomorrow that he gashed up. You know what I'm saying? That he gashed up in 2022. You still got the Josh Metellus out there. You still got the Harrison Smith out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, hey, so it's gonna be. I'm sure they watch that film for sure. Still use that film from 2022 and like, this is what we don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? This is what we don't want to do. We cannot let number 8 do that to us again. So, you know, respectfully, I think we'll more scheme on trying to slow down Daniel Jones even with the legs because again, he can move, man. You know, I've always gave Daniel Jones his props when it comes to moving, man. Like he can get up out of there, man, and really make you pay. I think a lot of teams underestimate that. Not NFC East teams because y'all play him twice a year and they know Daniel Jones. But when y'all start playing teams like us, man, he kind of gets to catch these teams off guard because he's a pocket pat. Nah, he really ain't, bro. Like he really a dual threat for real. He really is a dual threat.
Listen, there's that clip of him tripping before he made it to the end zone. Everyone's seen it. The whole world's seen it.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
Well, people, bro.
That was hilarious, bro.
What people don't understand, this guy was running away from DBs. Like, he had everyone beat. And, of course, in Daniel Jones fashion, I think that kind of sums him up in general, like tripping before the end zone.
Yeah.
But he was running away from guys. Like, this guy's – I hate to say sneaky athletic because people look at the color of his skin and say automatically sneaky athletic. But
he's good, man.
Straight line runner. He's athletic for sure.
Yeah, he can move. He can move, man. He's definitely considered a mobile quarterback. You know what I mean? Like people consider Joe Burrow. Like I consider Joe Burrow a mobile quarterback. Like, although Joe Burrow doesn't run, like he's still a mobile quarterback because his pocket is the way he moves around the pocket, the mobility that because being a mobile quarterback doesn't mean you have to run for 20, 30-yard runs. It just pretty much is meaning like you can move around the pocket and maybe run 5 yards this way, 5 yards this way, lateral, and be able to get to a better spot to throw the ball, man. That's what I consider being mobile, man. You know, I mean, shit, you don't got to be Lamar Jackson to be considered mobile. You know, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Two-tone answer for that Ivan Pace soundbar. Listen, we're going live tomorrow, and we're gonna have that playing. Let's just know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Vike, love to have you on here, but prepare for that whooping.
Shout out J Rez, man. Shout out to you, man. Hey, look, man, it is what it is. Look, we gonna ride regardless. Hey, this is the truth. Win, lose, or draw, man, your boy R.A. Peasy will be on the airwaves tomorrow, man. That's a fact, whether I'm in a good mood or a bad mood, man, because one thing's for sure, the Vikings do dictate my mood, bro. I will say that. And that's another big reason why I started YouTube, because I needed people to vent to, bro. Like, I was tired of talking to my wife and she not really giving a damn. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, yeah, really? Oh, like, you know, I'm like, you know what? Let me stop talking to you. I'm gonna go hit record real quick, man. I know somebody gotta hear me. So best decision of my life, though, man. Shout out all the supporters, man, for sure, man. One of the best decisions of my life was starting a podcast about my favorite team that I absolutely love and adore, bro. For real.
Yeah, I ditto that 100%. There's a lot of us Giants fans out there, but we spoke on it, you know, even off of this video. There's not a lot of Minnesota fans that are out there, but you got a lot of them on your side with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope to see that. I want to thank you for coming on here once again. First time I ever had another content creator on here. Hopefully it's the first of many. And who knows, man? I mean, how crazy would it be if by the end of the season we're making another preview in the playoffs? I mean,
hey, let's do it, man. Hey, for sure. Hey, look, I'll say this, Juke. Our two teams, man, like we were saying throughout the show, they're very similar in their ways, right? We're very similar going into the season. A lot of people are sleeping on y'all, a lot of people sleeping on us. And our nickname's going to be the upsetters, man. Listen, both of our teams, regardless of who wins or loses this game tomorrow, I don't think there's a sense of panic that needs to be with our two teams, because I think there's a long season ahead of us. And, you know, things happen, man. Weird things happen, man. So, like, hey, we might, let's say we lose tomorrow. That's cool. The bounce back can get real around week 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, teams, man, good teams find their stride in the middle of the season, man. That's when you really know who's gonna be ballers and who ain't. You know, so hey, look, let's enjoy tomorrow. I mean, obviously we both want the win for our teams, but let's enjoy tomorrow, man. Let's watch a dog fight, man. I think it's going to be a good game. Obviously, you believe your team's going to win. I believe my team's going to win. But tomorrow, hey, look, there'll be no more talking. We'll be able to come on here afterwards and really talk about what happened and why did it happen. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun at the end of the day, man. So shout out to
100%.
Giants community, man, for sure, man. Never had a problem with the Giants community. Shout out to you, man, doing your thing, man. Your channel's been growing like crazy, man. One of my favorite Giants content creators, you feel me? And you know, been locked in with you even before this. So, you know, people don't know the story, but we've been locked in, man. So this is lit, man. I'm glad I got to do this tonight with you, bro.
100%, bro. What time you go live tomorrow? What time you going live?
I'm gonna go live at 12. The game start at 1, obviously. So I'm gonna just do an hour before, kind of just to waste that hour. You know, that hour be dreadful, man. When 12 hit, you be like, you just be so ready and anxious. So I think I'm gonna kick it with the peoples, man, and I'm gonna do that weekly. I wanted to really like do a watch parties and stuff, but I'm like, and I will do some this season, like the primetime games. I think I'm going to do the couple primetime games we have. I'm going to do watch parties on. But I'll be in Minnesota next week, man. I'm flying out next Friday to be there for Skull Fest and all that stuff. We got an event we're throwing out there. So, you know, it's going to be busy next week, man. But I'm going to start doing pregame shows. I'm going to do pregame shows and postgame shows every week, guaranteed, man. Lock them in, start building up that community like that, man. So I can sit there and run through that hour, man, from 12 to 1. You know, because when you're doing stuff like this, like me and you, Juke, man, we've been on 2 hours, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Time flies.
Time flies when you're having fun, baby. So yeah, man, 12 o'clock, man. If y'all in the building, Vikings fans, or even Giants, man, if y'all want to come tap in over there and hear what I got to say, man, you know, I'll be 12 o'clock. I'll be live, man.
100% bet. I'm also jump on live, but I'll be live towards the later end of the night. Just vibes talking about week 1, whether it's a win or loss. We're going to be out here talking about it, but I'm definitely going to jump in your live stream as well, man. Shout out to everyone from Skull jumping over here, Vocal Vike. You already know, once again, if there's any Giants fans in the building, make sure you're subscribed up to Vocal Vike. Once again, shout out to Dylan. Shout out Juke. Good luck tomorrow. Appreciate you, my guy. Man. And shout out to A Breezy. Going to be a good game tomorrow. May the best team win. I 100% feel that way, man. So
absolutely
appreciate y'all for jumping on, man. Once again, Vocal Vike. Shout out to you, man. And first of many, I'll catch y'all on the next one, man.
I'll let you.